Alright, it's time for another week of ZTGD Radio. This is episode 746 for May 15th, 2023. And on the show this week, we got the Wombat.
Yes, sir.
We got Anthony.
It's cutting into Zelda time. Let's hurry this shit
Yeah,
up.
let's go. I got Zeldas to play. We got Terrence.
I don't have Zelda to play, so we can take all day with this.
Nah, you need to get off this podcast and go get Zelda and play it. Because...
I'm gonna have to.
Don't you want to be part of the conversation, motherfucker?
It's the zeitgeist.
I do, because people are talking about stuff, and I'm like, man, I want to know. Like, you guys are like, well, you got to do this, and this thing happened. I'm like, what was this thing? Like, I want to know. So I'm gonna get it. I'm gonna play Zelda.
Yeah, we're gonna talk about Zelda a lot today. So if you don't want to hear about Zelda, if 30 frames per second bothers you, get the fuck out. Because that's why Redfall
all
failed.
Over Twitter too.
And
yeah.
Zelda shouldn't be a 10 out of 10 because it's 30 frames a second.
30 frames. That was the only problem that was wrong with Redfall.
Yeah, that was it. Oh man, I've seen some people reaching on the Twitter.
I have too. Like, oh man.
I'm like, dude, just go play Zelda. It's really good. But anyway, we'll get the other games out of the way first. So I'll start with Terrence because I know he hasn't played Zelda yet, but by the end of the show, he will be playing Zelda.
He probably will, honestly. So this week, I'm on playing a game for review that I can't talk about called After Us, but we'll talk about it later. I've played some Ravenlock, which I also am playing for review, but that's actually out, so I can talk about that. That actually it's a really cute game. My only problem is the combat is weird.
It's bad. I don't like it.
Like the game or just the combat?
Just the combat. I don't like the combat at all. It just feels finicky.
Yeah, like you just kind of like, and maybe I'm doing like you just swing the sword, and it's just kind of like you're like, just like waving it back and forth.
That's it. That's all you do.
Okay, and I'm like, every once in a while, I'll throw a bomb at a boss or something. I don't know. I think more than anything, with that world, and it was the same with their last game. I like the art style. Love actually the art style. That they use. What was the other one?
Echo Generation.
Echo Generation. That's what it was. Yeah. So far this is pretty good. It has a nice little story, fairy tale-esque fighting. Some.
They should have stuck with Echo Generation's turn-based combat because then it doesn't feel clunky.
Yeah, I actually because that's really the only thing with it is the combat just feels out of place. Like just flailing about with a sword and then it like when you go to use the bomb or the health, like the action pauses anyway. Like you pull up that menu and it pauses for you to target who you're going to throw the bomb at and stuff. So I don't know why they didn't just keep the whatever. Anyways, but I'm going to write a review for that. But I am enjoying it that I'm playing so far. My man Anthony and I did our Friday routine.
Dude,
we fucked up some zombies.
Are they zombies?
I was fucked up, dude. The maps in Resident Evil 6 suck.
Oh my god! So we started off because we're doing Jake's campaign first. So we did. I think we finished chapter 1 last week, and this week we played a little longer. But we started off in like the snow area. What the fuck? You can't see dick.
Yeah,
like, they give you a little mini map, but
my favorite part was like we both turned up our brightness.
Yeah,
and you still can't see shit because it's not just that it's dark. They've decided to add this shitty, like, just completely
the snowstorm or fog or whatever.
It's just opaque, and you're just like, all right, cool.
Yeah, it was. Oh my god! But I mean, we I
was starting to get lost in the building though we were in too.
Yeah, when we got separated.
No, that part was like okay. Although that puzzle where I had to watch the guy put the code in the door was so fucking stupid. Oh my god, Resident Evil game, everybody. Stealth sections.
Yeah. Oh my god.
My ass. The one where we were running through the doors and like one of the doors like wrapped back onto the previous area we were in because I was like, I'm coming for you because you were in battle or whatever.
Oh yeah, the fancy place.
The fancy place, the palace or whatever. And it was just like, what map design is this? This is terrible.
It was crazy. Yeah, it was.
And then the enemies.
Right, that was the thing. They transform, and they're not zombies. Actually, I don't know what the hell they are.
Bug people, but they're like the parts of the bug that this guy turned into a giant butterfly, but his top torso is like the back end of the butterfly, and it's like, what
and he's still shooting.
And he's still shooting. And you're just like, I was going on about, like, who the fuck would choose to take this drug that turns you into a killing machine that then turns you into a giant bug? Like, this is, like, peak male physicality. Like, yeah, fuck this shit.
Yeah.
Fuck that game, man.
Oh, it was fun though. I'm actually really enjoying Resident Evil 6. The story is wacky, but it is dumb fun. No, we were commentating through I think most of those cutscenes. Oh,
she can heal herself. Sure, Birkin can heal herself somehow.
Sure. Why not?
She got magic powers. Yeah,
Resident Evil. Why not?
I can't. I want to see them remake all the games just so they can make 5 and 6 somehow not batshit fucking insane.
I really want to see a remaster of 5. Like, I hope that they do 5 next. And since how they did with 4, I kind of feel like they're going to do 5. But I don't know. I hope they do. Sheva deserves to come back. Sheva deserves to be in a new game, honestly.
Yeah.
She's a great
character. It'd be interesting if they were to do like interquel sort of thing, like Code Veronica, but with her, because like she's dealing with shit before 5.
Oh yeah, that's right. Because she works for BSAA, the African. That would be. She could have like a Code Veronica-esque story. That was a good game too. They should remake that too. Damn, just remake them all. Those Resident Evil games.
They're working on it. They make a lot of money off of them, so...
The remakes are, like, probably the best remakes around, outside of maybe Dead Space, even though I didn't play that one.
Dead Space is really good, but yeah, the Resident Evil remakes are kind of the bar.
Just top-tier shit.
Until 6 is really... comes out, it's going to do it, it's going to mess it up. They're going to be top.
Yeah, but 6 is a lot of fun playing co-op. Like, if Terrence and I weren't playing, I would not be playing that game.
No, I probably wouldn't either. It's the co-op. That's like I would have played through 5, but the co-op is what I really had a lot of fun with 5. My friend played through that.
Maybe we move backwards after we're done 6 then.
Hell yeah, I own 5. Shit, let's do it. And my boy is in that one. I love Wesker, which I'm so curious to see how Jake is Wesker's kid. Like, I'm sure it's a clone or something crazy, but whatever. What else did I play? The Midnight Suns, the Storm DLC finally came out. So I've got to play some of that. I haven't finished it yet. And I didn't actually finish Morbius' story. I thought I had, but I have some missions to pick up there. That game is still great. Kind of sad that this is the last DLC bit. And I hope that they either do a sequel or do another pack of characters to continue the story beats. Cause,
they ain't doing no sequel.
The story's kind of good.
That game flopped so hard.
Yeah, and it's so sad because it's so good, man. They got a free trial out and everything. I guess people just wasn't about it. Too much Marvel stuff.
It's not. I don't think it's just the Marvel stuff. I also think it's the game. Like it's a strategy game. Like those aren't
right. The genre.
Yeah, those aren't big. So.
Yeah, that is true. But it is. Anyway, okay. And then I played the Diablo 4 beta, the server slam.
What an awful weekend to put up your server slam.
Right? And I'll tell you what,
I got a feeling those servers aren't getting slammed.
No,
I was going to tell you, I ain't ran into near one queue.
I wonder why.
Get in. Yeah, everybody's in Hyrule. Nobody cares about saving Sanctuary, but I got my character level 20 today, and I'm going to, because they got the world boss on a 3-hour rotation of spawning in. I'm going to try my hand in a group and see if I can't kill the world boss and unlock that mount you get for doing it, because I didn't do it in the past beta. So, but yeah, that's what Saints Row. I played Saints Row. That patch.
Oh yeah.
Oh my god, that game. That game is great now. That game is good.
I was so shocked, like, when I started playing it again, that, like, 2 hours in, I was like, oh, shit, I finished it.
Yeah, oh, my God, the combat, so much better. Oh man, yeah, they did their thing. So
This
I mean,
game
if you
should have
were
been
on the
delayed.
fence,
Yeah, this game should have been delayed because it would have been a lot better received right now than it was when it came out.
Yep. And now it's going to be a hard sell to get people to go backwards. But if you were on the fence, I don't know if they had a demo or something, definitely check it out because that latest patch has definitely made it way better. But yeah, that's it, man. That's all I got.
All right, Anthony, do you have anything besides Zelda?
Yeah, I didn't get to talk about it because I wasn't here last week. Ryan did talk about it. Super Dungeon Maker. There's some weird quirks to that game with how the logic works, and I completely understand why Nintendo probably didn't see it being worthwhile, even though people were wanting to have a Zelda Maker, because it does require a lot more logic, like computer logic, in building the levels. I do love Fink. He's a great character. His animation's like fantastic, very reminiscent of how everything kind of moved in Minish Cap. That's kind of the art style I feel like they're going for. But there's some weird stuff when I'm building like a level, and I'm like, I want this chest to drop when all the enemies are defeated. I have to put the spot down first that says whatever I put in this place, I want to appear when the enemies are defeated. Then put a chest down next to it, put the item in that chest, and then move the chest onto that spot.
Yeah, or you can do it. You can do it the other way. You can put the chest down with the item in it. Put the
it wouldn't let me put
the
it
spawn
down.
thing down. You can't put it on top of the chest. You have to put it on like a tile next to it and drag it over.
Yeah, and it's stuff like that where it's
quirky.
like, it's like, so I was like, I wanted a spot where, okay, you step on a spot that's not like a switch or whatever, and then the spikes pop up. Like I wanted it to spawn spikes in. That is a harder step than you would think. Like there's a lot you have to actually do there. So there's just some quirks where I'm like, yeah, I can see why this would be a thing where Nintendo goes, yeah, it's not just like making a Mario level. There's a lot more to these maps. But for the people that want to do that, like, this is a really great set of tools. And once you get around those quirks, which I think every sort of program has, like Mario Maker just happens to be perfect at what it does. But it's also not as complex. Once you get over those quirks, there's some really neat stuff. And I'm sure they'll fix stuff like being able to set certain rooms to be dark rather than the whole floor just be dark.
Yeah.
Because that's the way it works right now. And so there's some, so I wouldn't say it's like the best thing ever. But they are upfront and saying like, this is still a work in progress. And so I'm sure some of this stuff will be solved or changed, like the room darkness thing. And while others are going to probably be there forever, I don't think they're so annoying that it's unusable. It's just one of those things where it's like, to me, I was like, well, what changes here? Because like we should know, like if I put the event tile over top of the chest, but the event tile is still going to go below the chest. So yeah, there's some weird stuff like that, but I do think it's really great. I, however, do see like people, once this is kind of more complete, are gonna realize like Zelda's not just about dungeons, and this is what this game is built around building dungeons for other people. And it kind of removes the fact that like there's a lot of time in all Zelda games where you are not in dungeons. The world is just as important, and the carryover of equipment from dungeon to dungeon is as important, because having it where people have made dungeons where you don't get the rolling ability right away does change how you play. And I know Ryan brought up that the shield doesn't lock you into a certain direction and stuff. Again, all stuff that, some of the stuff that can be solved, others are like just because like you are only just making the dungeon, and that's something you can't get around. That's the reason why Mario Maker works so well. You're just playing a level. And then, with Mario Maker 2, they finally allowed you to like connect them via worlds. But ultimately, at the end of the day, it was just like, yeah, a good Mario level is pretty simplistic. The logic, the heaviest logic you have is what's in a block, or if you hit a block, what activates. So, but yeah, there's that. Like Terrence and I were talking about, Resident Evil 6. It's fucking great time. We're just kind of laughing our asses off. I'm cringing once I watch people transform, having flashbacks to Project Eden, a game that no one played. I do recommend playing Project Eden with friends. It's on PC. It's fucked up. It's a real weird core design game.
That was on PS2, right?
It was on PS2 as well, yeah, and that's how I played it. It starts off like, it's just a futuristic. We're going for a team of 4. It goes down to the city ruins. So, basically, the lore is that they've just kept building on top of the city. So, the ground level is just slums, and we are going into the slums area. And every character on the team has their own power. Like, one guy can hack into cameras. The robot can walk through fire and has a missile launcher. She was my go-to character. One of them has, like, I think, ability to control RC stuff. Like, they're like a pilot or something like that, so they know how to fly like RC helicopters or some shit like that. And that game starts off like, I'm just shooting guys. And then one guy you run into and you actually talk to him, and he's like, I don't feel so good. I took this, like, black market drug. And then he leans over backwards, and his body turns into, like, a giant ant thing. Where, again, his head is, like, the back end of the ant. And stuff, and I was just like, what the fuck? And that's bothered me forever. And then this Resident Evil game's just leaning into that shit. And it's like, alright, well,
it is. Jesus.
You know, it makes the thing look tame to some extent.
Yeah, some of those transformations were really, like, I mean, a whole giant dragon came out of that one guy.
Yeah, like dude turns into, like, a fucking cocoon, and then a dragon pops out of it. Like, okay, yeah.
Like, okay. Jesus.
What the fuck is this? Yeah, so, and then I still play in Yakuza 0. So, yeah, that's it for me. That's not the thing we'll be talking about for 40 minutes. Not longer.
Wombat, are you back, or do I need to run? Okay, there he is. Did you play
just
anything?
Got back.
Did you play anything besides Zelda before we move into that?
Not really. Just a little bit more. Burning Shores. I'm almost to the end of that. So I will just say, I love the new mount in Forbidden Shores. It's freaking cool as can be. For
is it a
folks.
shark?
No, it's it's kind of a spoiler for Forbidden West.
Okay, then let's not talk about that. I was just curious because I know it's the shoreline, so I was interested to know if it was, like, aquatic.
Yes, is the short answer, but not the long answer. So yeah, it's it's an extension of a mount that you get towards the end of the other game. Anyway, it opens up some cool possibilities. I still love the environment. The lava flow and stuff like that looks awesome. The graphics are, of course, phenomenal. So yeah, I'm really digging it, and I'm glad to hear that they've officially confirmed a third game. So yeah, super pumped. And also glad to see that they announced that the second game has already sold like 8.3 million copies. So
Damn.
in your face to all the people who said it was a flop and a failure.
But Ryan, the Xbox community told me it was a flop.
Right, yeah, same. They told me that too. The first game sold something like, I don't know, 24 million or something like that at this point.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
And it took the first game more than 2 years to sell 10 million, and this one's already at 8, just over a year out. So I'm glad this series sells well, man, because it's one of my favorites.
It's definitely my favorite from, and I didn't even like the second game that very much, but it's my favorite from Sony. The science fiction elements are brilliant.
Yep, absolutely.
It's
So
always good when new IP sells. Absolutely.
Yes, 100%. Yep, 100%. And I don't know. We've talked about it before. I was not. We talked about it on the Discord, I guess. I don't think we've really talked about it on the podcast. I was not a fan of the first Killzone, which I don't really know too many people that were fans of the first Killzone.
People that didn't have an Xbox for Halo.
Yeah,
pretty much.
But that game looked great.
It does.
The second Killzone was better, and actually I thought good. I'll say good. Also looked phenomenal. The third Killzone was great.
Yeah,
that was a genuinely good game.
They finally got it right.
That was my favorite. Yeah, I loved that one.
Shadowfall was not that great, but it did look phenomenal.
Shadowfall is the most beautiful, boring-ass game ever.
Yeah.
It's a launch-ass.
Yes,
game,
that's 100%
yeah.
Yep. But I say that to say that Guerrilla has proven themselves to be the masters of squeezing every last ounce out of whatever hardware they're making the game for. It's their engines are tremendous, and I'm glad to see that this engine from Horizon is getting sort of shopped around a little bit internally within Sony, because it's pretty incredible what they're able to pull off.
It's what Death Stranding runs on too.
Yep. And Death Stranding, another one of the best looking games of the generation.
Yeah. And so, I will say this because you're complimenting Guerrilla, and again, they have my favorite series of. Even though I think they're all sort of Oscar baity from Sony, it is one of my favorite series, if not my favorite. All of their games, even though Killzone at the end of the day is kind of a boring sort of thing, really good enemy design that sells you on wanting to fight them.
Yeah, absolutely.
The Hellghast are cool looking,
even if they completely stole the design for those. But but yeah, it's they enemy design, character design, and environment design are definitely pluses in their catalog.
You fought cyborg Nazis, now fight robot dinosaurs.
Yes, exactly. So that I will say, like, that's they've gone from one of those Sony studios that everybody was kind of like, oh man, with the first Killzone and even the second to an extent, to one of the premier studios in their catalog, which it's pretty impressive. But anyway, that's it. Other than that, I did play Zelda, although way less than you guys played. I've really only finished one shrine at this point. My son has played it more than I have. I'm trying to play my version of it almost exclusively when he can play with me. So I really haven't played much of it at all. So I'm anxious to hear some spoiler-free stories from YouTube.
Before we move on, because you mentioned Killzone, do you think Killzone got sort of like a bad rap from being just sort of close to Resistance, which wasn't as good?
No, I think Killzone got a bad rap because that first game was a snore fest.
Okay. Yeah, it was very boring. And
and they framed it as the Halo killer. And
to be fair, that was Halo killer. Yeah. That wasn't exclusive to Killzone.
No, there was a lot of finger quote Halo killers.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, no, there was, but that's
including Tribes. Remember Tribes?
Tribes said it on the goddamn box. What are you talking about?
Tribes, doesn't Tribes predate Halo? The first game.
The first game does.
Yeah.
The
PlayStation 2 game is the one that had "Goodbye Halo" on the box. Although to be fair, that was a media quote. That wasn't a quote from the developers, but still,
Bye,
it was on the box.
Halo. Hello, bargain bin.
Tribes I used to play on PC, like where you could ski. Like
Okay, they released a PlayStation 2 game.
PlayStation 2,
I can't
notoriously
remember
the online
subtitle.
Ascend.
That's it. Yeah.
I loved Tribes on PC back then.
Tribes on PlayStation 2 was
Tribes Ascend was not. I'm sorry, that was the free-to-play game in the large Tribes
PS2.
Aerial Assault?
Aerial Assault, that was it. Here it is.
It's a terrible cover, too, because it doesn't look like the Tribes, like, generally has, like, a pretty, like, interesting, like, oh yeah, you're a guy that fights in like a thing, and then they're like, what if it was just like you looked like a bad Image Comics character?
Nice.
Here's the back cover that has the referenced quote.
Goodbye, Halo.
Oh,
Wow.
ooh.
Yeah, I would have never said that about Tribes. No, Tribes is a good game. Like I love the
Not the
freedom
PS2
and all that
one.
stuff you could do.
I mean,
See, I didn't play that one. I only played it on PC.
But like, here's the reason why it's a bad game on PS2 is it loses all. It says online. Do you remember how much of a pain in the ass it was to connect a PS2 online? Yeah,
I do. Yep.
So no one's fucking doing that.
I love the old PlayStation 2 online sticker on the front.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, and then you had to start up your boot up disk to get the modem running, and then you had to put in your game. Then you had to play through shitty connections.
One of like 4 games that worked on it.
Yeah,
Monster Hunter.
SOCOM is the only game.
And SOCOM, yep.
Yeah. So, but Anthony, to your point, one of the other things, so in addition to what Ken said about the game being boring, is that they made a conscious decision with Halo, or with Killzone, to make the game heavy. And heavy in terms of you don't turn as fast, it takes more effort.
You feel like a space marine.
Yeah. And similar to when GTA 4 made the conscious decision to make everything feel heavier.
Every car is a brick that you're driving.
Yeah, it got a lot of negative publicity for that, in addition to being boring. And by the time they finally figured that sort of weight system out in the third game, the gameplay was phenomenal. But I don't think that those games, even with, I mean, the third game was, I'll say, reasonably critically acclaimed. I don't think those games ever shook the stink of the first game.
And the second game was just marred by the fucking
that trailer,
that fake trailer that
that
said it was going to look like.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well,
and
that game came out too right in the midst of the Sony Xbox console wars really starting to flare up in a serious way, and that killed it too, because immediately it was the hot thing to shit all over. And that second game is not that bad. It's not a great game. It's got some of the same problems as the first game, but it's not that bad.
I was just curious,
it was a hot thing to shit on.
Because Resistance, I remember Resistance starting, like, the hype was like, oh shit, you're playing World War II game, and then aliens attack. And then the other Resistance games just seemed to be like, well, we started it and we're finishing it, god damn it. And it was like, no one ever was like...
Yeah.
The one where it was... I think I'm the only one of y'all that does this. Like, I played all that stuff multiplayer. So Killzone 3 multiplayer, I probably was max level in that. I loved that multiplayer of that game. But the Resistance one I got into was whichever one that had, like, 100 players online at the same time or something like that. Was it the second one? I can't remember.
The second one was like the
big deal for it.
The second one was like the big... I think it was 64.
Maybe that's what it was. It was a big number. Like, it was a big number, and it was a big deal at the time because it was on console and was so many. And you were, like, set up in squads or whatever. But that one was really good. Like, I liked that one a lot.
Y'all motherfuckers ain't fuck with Mag.
Yeah, it's just the same Mag.
The Mag is the one that had the 1,000 one. That's what it was.
It's 128.
100.
128.
It was 100, yeah.
That's insane still, but yeah, no, I just was curious because, like, you know, I remember, like, thinking both of those games, like, were, like, not the good shooter. That's the reason why I was just asking the question, because I was just like, is it because of Killzone is kind of, like, was like that, or was, like, Killzone just unfortunately lumped in with another sort of one of those from Sony? But
yeah,
okay.
I mean, so I keep hearing people talk about Resistance and how they should bring Resistance back, and here's the reality. Almost every game Insomniac has made is better than the Resistance games were.
Oh my god, yeah.
So I have no desire to... I mean, the only games I can think of that they made that are worse are, like, Fuse. That game sucked.
Fuse wasn't their fault, at least. Like, Fuse was EA going... Because it was called something else originally.
It had different art style too,
and it had
it
had a more Insomniac art style. And then they were like, EA is like, whoa, let's not do that. And it's like, what the fuck do you mean not do that? Oh my god, the game was called Overstrike.
Yeah,
and it had like an Overwatch art style sort of thing.
Yeah.
Crazy how that works, huh?
Yeah, so I am perfectly content with Insomniac continuing to work on Marvel games and maybe some Ratchet and Clank games on occasion. I would much rather that than seeing them
back. Wasn't that them?
No, that's Ghost of Tsushima people.
What did you
say?
say?
That's right.
Sucker Punch.
Infamous.
Oh yeah, Infamous Sucker Punch. Yeah.
Bring back Disruptor.
If Sucker Punch is going to do something other than a Ghost of Tsushima sequel, which, by the way, I can't wait for the Ghost of Tsushima sequel, and I hope we get some news about it soon. If they're going to go back to anything, I wish they would make a new Sly Cooper, because those games were awesome.
Yeah,
those were my favorite. Those were my favorite mascot games on the PlayStation.
Fucking
I like those better than Ratchet and Clank.
Disruptor, and I had to look it up. Didn't realize it was made by Insomniac.
Yep.
Jesus.
Insomniac's first-person shooter Disruptor on the PS1, and it's actually pretty good.
Is it really? Okay.
It is good.
It's better than it looks on the cover.
Yep. That game was the start of the Ratchet and Clank weapon wheel. Like, there's some really cool weapons in that game. You should play it.
Yeah. And it's got some, like, powers and stuff, too.
Yep.
It's not a bad game.
I met Ted Price at E3. Super awesome dude. Alright, I don't have a lot to talk about besides Zelda, so I'll just ramble through this real quick. I hit Master in Overwatch. Woo! Yeah, I know, everybody's excited. That was a stressful last game. Oh, thank you. The first sound effect.
None of these other ones fit. I really wanted to use one of those, but
it's so funny because there's a limitation. I can only put 8 in there, and like there's no other way
lame.
No other way to upgrade
it.
That is
so lame.
Bruh. Yeah, it's unfortunate because I can see in my soundboard, I can see some clips that some of the other Discords that I belong to have put up, but I can't use any of them because I don't pay for Nitro.
Oh yeah, there's like emojis that are exclusive to the Discord. So it's like that's so dumb.
Mm-hmm.
So dumb.
Gotcha, bitch.
Perfect. Yep.
But no, like that game is so weird because like I didn't feel like I could win for weeks. Now I don't feel like I can lose. I think I've won 80% of my games.
Now you're unstoppable.
That's because I stopped playing with y'all.
Dude, I was losing by myself. I don't understand that game. I don't.
Maybe they fixed something. Is the matchmaking fixed?
I don't know. I haven't played in 4 days.
Oh, Zelda.
Fair enough.
You got him.
A couple of I was on my second playthrough of Jedi Survivor. I don't know why, but I just wanted to play through it again, so I was doing that. I think I was like 20 hours into my second playthrough of that game. Jesus. And then I'm playing a game for review I can't talk about, but it's not very good. And then I'm playing another game for review, which is okay, I gotta get this name right. Hold on, let me look it up.
I also need you to type in the name of the game that you just said it wasn't very good.
I'll have to dig it up. I can't remember the name of it off the top of my head, but it's not out
okay,
yet.
well then it's not, so what you're saying is don't worry about it.
Yeah, I wouldn't worry about it. TT Isle of Man, Ride on the Edge 3.
Oh god.
It's a motorcycle game.
It's one of those motorcycle games.
It's good. It's just
it's one of those. It's a simulation sort of one, right?
So here's the weird thing. So it is kind of simmy, but you can put it on like a beginner level, so it's not as hard. But I'm still falling off my motorcycle constantly, and I don't understand. So it literally just drops you into the game, and it's like go find a race to race. So like it's an open world track that you drive around, and you just start challenges, but like I was falling off my bike every 5 seconds because I am terrible at those kind of motorcycle games.
I don't know how I feel about that.
Yeah, it's weird.
The open world seems like a really, this is gonna sound mean, dumb fucking decision.
Yeah, I don't know, man. Like, it just...
Why would you do that in a motorcycle game? Just let me race the race. Thanks.
Yeah, I don't know. It's weird. It looks beautiful. It runs beautifully. It just, I don't know. That's a weird design decision. I don't know. But then everything else just went to shit. I didn't even play the indie games like they sent them to me, and I downloaded them. But that was literally the only time I turned my Xbox on in the last 3 days.
Yeah, who gives a shit?
But I've been playing Zelda a lot of Zelda. I'm like 20 hours in, I think, in 2 days.
Man.
Yeah, I'm not that far. I think I'm about maybe 10.
That's still kind of crazy.
Not really.
I mean, 10 hours in 2 days, that's a lot.
Probably have about
which
4
I hear
hours.
it's too much, because I heard you can beat it in 94 minutes. So what the hell you doing?
I'm enjoying my video games. That's
Yeah,
what I'm
me
doing.
too.
At 19 FPS.
At 19
Right.
FPS, exactly.
19
Like,
FPS. What's wrong with you? What the heck?
you know, I'm
You
playing
call
on
yourself a gamer?
exactly. I don't have to worry about it. I played motherfucking. I would play the Mega Man boss at 4 frames a second because that's what we had to do.
Right.
And also, if you pause, it cheats.
With the flicker, if you had too
Yeah.
many bullets on the screen at the same time.
Yeah, too many
Yep.
enemies. The game would slow to a crawl because I saw somebody
remember
explain
that.
that the other day. Like you can only have so many enemies on screen. So like
Yeah, it's per horizontal line.
Yeah.
There's a pixel limit per horizontal line.
and some of those games are like fuck it, and then your game just goes ooh.
Yep.
But
To
Zelda
your advantage sometimes.
Tears of the Kingdom,
Never heard of it.
dude. I spent 4 hours in the tutorial.
I don't like the tutorial section.
Why?
I liked it. I just
It's not as good as the one in Breath of the Wild.
Oh,
The one in Breath of the Wild, it's like, look, you got 4 directions, you figure it out. And I do think there's an optimized sort of route through that makes sense. But it's a little bit more open. And I understand why this game has to be a bit more linear, but you're going around in a circle to loop back to where you started. And as you go through the circle, you're hitting these temples that give you the other powers. Those powers are used but to go through this sort of circle in a linear fashion. So I do get it, but it felt more restrictive than the first game that is kind of more open and then says, all right, now you do this on a bigger scale. So
I'm gonna be real honest with you. I felt 100% stupid on was it like the second or third island where you've got to get the thing across the track, but one of the tracks are broken.
Oh, I figured that out pretty quickly.
I felt like a moron for like 20 minutes.
I shot off, realized the track was broken, so I fell off the edge and went, that can't be right. And then I walked away from him, like, maybe I'll figure it out later. And then I'm like, dude, it was the hook, and so I ran back.
Like, I felt so stupid because I didn't realize... So that's the thing about this game is, like, I didn't realize half the shit you can pick up in the tutorial. And it's just like, you just walk into the area...
You spent 4 hours in there. What you weren't picking nothing up?
Well, no, because that's like, kind of at the beginning.
Oh, okay, I got you.
Yeah, so, like, I was exploring and looking around stuff, and it's got kind of that Dark Souls thing where, like, the constructs are going to tell you how things work, but you have to talk to them. If you don't talk to them, then you will not figure, like, they won't give you the hints.
Well, I mean, most of it's carryover from
sure.
the first game.
Sure, but then you get to the river, and they're like, we can't get our stuff across the river, and you're like, I watched the trailer for this game, I'm going to build a raft with some fans on it. And then you do that.
And the fans don't turn on?
I was going to say, is that what you did?
Like, 100% build a raft with fans on it. Dude, I said this in the Discord the other day. I feel like every shrine in this game is like build some weird-ass fucking contraption and hope that it gets you across. Like, I feel like that's what this game is, and I
haven't had too many issues with the contraptions not working the way I wanted them to. The only... And I'm just going to say this because it'll save someone else time. The only one that was like, how fucking dare you, is finding out that the the black stones that have like an orange end can be shoved into other objects.
The black stones, the orange.
Yeah, they're like a spike.
Oh, you're talking about when you can like put spikes into objects.
Yes, and like nobody explains that.
No, the first time I discovered that was in the pinball stage.
Was that the one that it's like a batting range?
So the ball's dropping, and then you've got to...
And then you have to hit a target on the side?
Hit a target on the side, yeah. I was like, how am I supposed to do this? Because it doesn't hit it hard enough. I was like, oh, you can put the spike into the flipper.
Right. And my issue, though, is that, like, that should have been something that they should have shown you in the tutorial section.
Yeah, because they do a really good job. Well... They do, the game does a really good job with its language of, like, showing you how things work. So, like, the first time I came across a fire hydrant and it was creating platforms in lava, they literally show you, in that shrine, the spike being shoved into the ground.
Right. I think they could have done that better still.
Sure, but, like, it's
that
a
is
lot.
That is the one downfall so far in the, we show you to teach you type of things. But other than that, like, I haven't had too many concerns about the building process. I do love when you have to help the guy hold up the sign. I
saw him and I tried to do it, and then I was like, you know what, fuck it, I ain't dealing with this dude.
They're great, because he gives you a couple rupees every time, he gives you a voucher to sleep, and he gives you a food that he made.
Oh, nice.
And then he goes, alright, I gotta go put up more signs.
Yeah, I found
him,
like, four different places.
At first, all the signs look the same, but I've run into a sign that was built slightly different, so I had to, like, it had, sort of two, signs hanging from the same thing, so I just stacked the logs right on top of each other and slid them underneath, and then when he let go, the physics just put the sign straight up, because the blocks were right underneath the other side, so, neat little puzzles like that. I do love the Korok ones, too, where the one Korok has a bag that's too big.
I have sent that motherfucker flying on a rocket so many times.
And he's like, I need to be brought over to my friend. And I'm like, okay.
Yeah, I build like a vehicle with some rockets on it and just shoot his little ass across the map. Oh man, there's like, I feel like every step I take in that game, I'm just like, there's a reward system at the stables. So you get what and this is so funny. I'm sorry, but this is funny. They're called pony points. And every stable you go to, you get a pony point, and as you collect the pony points, you unlock stuff for your horse.
Nice.
Like,
get them pony points.
Why is this in the game? Why is there a reward system in the game?
Don't you get pony points for complaining about Xbox on Twitter?
That's exactly
correct.
That's exactly it.
They give you a little icon of Shuhei.
Yeah, it's a.
It's an NFT.
NFT.
Yeah, an NFT of Shuhei. Man, there's just I can't. I love this fucking game so much. Like, when you first get into the world, they basically do the same thing they did in Breath of the Wild, which is like, here are 4 places you should go, and you need to do these 4 things before you can, finish off the game. And, like, that's it. Like, they don't tell you what they are, they don't tell you what you're going to be doing, and the journey to get to these things, you discover so much shit. It's just, like I was saying before the show, like, the fact that I got to one of those towers, so the towers are back in the game to, like, open up the map so you can see what's on the map.
The towers are way better in this game.
Yes, especially when you do them, because it, like shoots you 4,000 feet in the air.
Yeah, so they're not the towers from the first game. They do the same thing, but Fura has made them, and they are a giant, like, balloon that shoots up a platform, and then the platform stops at the top, but Link just keeps going, so he's flying through the sky with a cable attached, and he scans the environment like a human satellite.
He's basically
and
like
then the cable detaches and he free falls.
He's basically like a Google Earth camera that flies up in the air.
Nice. Okay.
He just takes a picture of the landscape, but here's the thing, is like each one of those is a puzzle. like when you get there, you don't just walk in and do it. You have to solve something in the area to unlock it.
Yeah. And by puzzle, he means I ran by all the enemies in one of them.
Oh, I run by all the enemies almost.
Pardon me. I understand you're trying to kill me, but I have something more important to do.
Dude, I skip so many enemies in this game because they are so hard.
Well, they give the enemies fucking rocks attached to swords.
Mm-hmm.
Wait,
Like,
what?
Yeah, you can fuse weapons in this game. It's one of your powers.
And they give enemies fused weapons, and anytime an enemy has a fused weapon, I'm just like, oh, fuck.
Yep, he's got a fucking, 8-foot sword with a giant boulder on the end of it.
Jesus, okay.
And he just whacks you, and you lose, 5 hearts and fall over.
But the bomb flower is, the ultimate, I'm gonna fuck shit up. Oh god, it's too close to me now.
Yeah,
and I'm
careful.
dead.
I saw a great clip on Twitter yesterday of a dude that had, a boomerang-style weapon, and he attached a bomb plant to it, and threw it at an enemy, and it missed and came back and hit him and blew up. I was like, yeah,
Bomb flowers are dangerous shit.
That's Zelda, man. There's some crazy shit in this game. So there are 3 worlds. So y'all feel like the guys that made Zelda play a little bit of Elden Ring?
I mean, now that you say that, yeah, probably.
Elden
Ring took a little bit from Zelda, and Zelda's like, we're just gonna take a little bit back.
Yeah, so the first time I went underground, it's pitch black! You cannot see! You have to light up these little flowers that you get. And they work like flares, so you set them every so often.
So I was like, oh, they're like, why don't you shoot those? I'm like, why don't I just put one on my shield and it'll glow? Yeah, no, it doesn't do that.
No, unfortunately.
It needs to be hit and then it glows. Alright.
And just all the, it's been 6 years since I played through Breath of the Wild, but, forgetting all the little touches of that game. So, when I went into the Mount Doom area, all of my wooden weapons would catch on fire.
Fire, and you're now sweating and overheating, and
Yeah.
you need to stay cool by eating things that have a cool feature to them.
And the higher you climb, so the first temple that I went to was in the sky, and the higher you go, the colder it gets. So I had to find some, because I only had 1 level of cold resistance. So I had to create because you can carry all the little construct parts with you. So I had a portable pot. So I would drop a portable pot and then cook up some spicy red peppers, and that would give me 15 minutes of cold resistance to finish the travel to the temple could be the temple puzzle in and of itself. That's how complex it was. It took me, I think each temple that I've done so far has taken me about 2 hours, 2 to 3 hours. And those are just things you can go do. This game is bananas, man. And I'm sure I haven't even done.
We were talking about it before the show, but everybody's saying, oh, they just reused the same map. No, they did not.
I mean, it's the same
At times
geography, but there's differences in it. A lot of differences.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's the same geography, but I don't know how actually true that is. The mountains are in the right spot, but I don't think the rest of the split mountains, are where I'd expect the split mountains to be. But then I'm looking for the Great Plateau, and I'm feel like it should be there and it should be visible, and it's not visible. It might be there still, but it's not. Enough of this has changed to make it fresh, I think.
I mean, I'm sure there's some things that have changed, but again, I can't. It's been, like I said, 6 years since I played Breath of the Wild, and there are certainly areas that I remember very vividly. I do remember the Goron village, and I went there yesterday, and it is pretty much the same as it was.
Yeah, Kakariko Village is very similar, but there's changes, and then there's just stuff where I'm I don't think this is the exact same orientation of everything, but it's to an extent where I go, okay, I'm assuming things have just been changed for the better. I don't think anything's missing. Like, nothing's missing. It's like, this doesn't feel the same.
Sure.
Which is a good thing for a game, especially when people are accusing it of just reusing the same world.
But that's what's funny is, like, even if it is the same world, there's still two other worlds.
Yeah.
Because there's now the sky area
There's
and the underground area.
Things that happen in this game where I'm like, okay, so, there's going to be the constructs and there's going to be a couple new enemies. And then a tree moved.
Yeah, the first time I got attacked by a tree, I was like, what the fuck?
All right, we're starting to get into some spoiler territory here. Stuff that I don't really want to know about until I experience it in the wild. Like,
I mean, I don't know. There's so much stuff to talk about, and it's like, I don't know how...
The weirdest power, and this is in the tutorial section, because I don't have any other powers other than that, is Ascend. Where
I forget I have Ascend constantly.
You just, like, no-clip through the environment above you.
Wow.
Who thought of that?
I don't know, but I love them.
They showed it in the original trailer, and I in hindsight, I go, man, I guess none of us really knew what was happening there. And, like, still, I forget that I have it, and when I use it, I'm still like, this is such a fucking weird thing to use as a gameplay element.
It is weird, but it
the
makes
weirdest
climbing.
Power.
It makes climbing so much easier in areas where you can use it.
Yeah, it's one of those, like, I'm still kind of just dumbfounded that got through, because everything else, the powers are different from the first game, but the first game and this game, like, for the most part, I'm like, okay, well, there's comparable stuff, and then there's just Ascend, and Ascend is so fucking weird. I'm like, alright, sure, fuck it.
Yeah, I don't know. There's just been times where I'm just walking around and I'll run into some absolutely wild shit. And like Jay was saying the other day, it's like you feel like you wandered into a place you shouldn't be.
The whole game, because everything's very difficult.
Yeah, but there are some things that are obscene.
I'm
not going to talk about.
Happened.
Yeah, like I'm not going to talk about them here, but there are some things.
I'm going to spoil
see.
stuff from the first game, like when you ran into a Lionel for the first time. Shit like that. Yeah, I understand that, but it's just like, I feel like even the weaklings are beating the ever-loving crap out of me.
Dude, I skip most fights.
Yep.
Like, I don't... Too. Like, there's no benefit to fighting them because it's not like you level up. So it's not like you gain anything. And in fact, you actually lose things because you degrade your weapon. Like, I don't feel the need to... Like... I almost feel like the game doesn't need the enemies just wandering around because they're just obstacles I walk around. And there's been... The thing that I love so much about this game is that when I see something that I want to do, there's nothing really stopping me from doing it, whether I go... And I love that explanation of, like, why there are boards laying all over the place. Because that construction company is trying to rebuild Hyrule. But the fact that I can just go grab like a stack of those boards and build a bridge to cross a place I shouldn't normally be able to cross, like that's the shit that I love about the building.
I have a question then. Okay, because I feel like maybe we are looking for two different things from Zelda. Because you talk about, the enemies being, Anthony said they were difficult, and you described them being obstacles that you just kind of avoid. So at that point, if you take that out, then what does this game become? Are you just digging the fact that it's kind of like a chill, explore at your own pace kind of thing, where you could just go look around, like you could do without the combat bits at all? Or because, like, honestly, that's why the weapon breaking hurts me so, is because I love sword and shield combat, as I talk about a lot on here. So Zelda being that, time period or whatever, I want to combat. Like, I want to fight every motherfucker I see. Like, I'm trying to fight everybody. But then my stick breaks, and I'm sad. So
stuff doesn't break as easily in this game.
Okay.
As long as you're combining it.
Yeah, if you fuse it, it's a lot sturdier. And there's actually stuff you can find later in the game that enhances.
Okay, but, like, to your thing, though. Like, so, like, would you be cool if they just it didn't have combat? Like, do you just like, for you, is it just the notion of exploring this world at your own pace? Like, I can see that, I can go get to it, I can build a bridge, I can build whatever and go see it and check it out, and there's something to do that might not involve combat? Like,
yes, if this game was 100% puzzles, exploration, and let's say boss fights, because I do like the boss fights, the ones that I've played.
Gotcha.
So, like, those are fun because they implement stuff that you've learned throughout the game. I'll repeat what I talked about before the show, and I know Ryan's going to get mad at me. The thing that I love about Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom in the same is, like, the world is so interesting to explore. So when I'm walking and I see this little thing off in the distance, I can go there, and it's probably going to be an interesting endeavor, whether it's a cave I go in
Shiny
and
pennies.
find a chest, or if I go here and I discover this enemy or this person that I want to talk to, or I discover like a fairy fountain, or there's everything.
I got you. Okay.
Like you see, like when you're flying through the air and you see something, you're like, oh, that's a spot I should probably go check out, and I go there and it's interesting.
I like the combat.
The combat's good. I just don't like to engage.
My
in
issue
it.
right now is that, like, the first game never had. The first game had parts like this, but like, first of all, I have like 5-6 weapons. Like, that's all I can hold right now. I have not found. I'm assuming Hestu, because the Koroks are back. Spoiler, everybody! Everybody's favorites are back, and the first Korok mentions that you're not Hestu. Okay, well, if you see him, hand him these for me. So, I have not been able to upgrade my space. If it's done the same way, I'm assuming it is. My thing is that, like, I have so few hearts, and enemies chew through you.
Yeah, you need
and
to.
And it
you
feels
need to
like you can't do enough damage or defense to defend yourself against these guys who are using the same fusion abilities, although you don't see them do it. You only see constructs do it. But like they're using the same fusion abilities, so they have the same swords. Then they're attaching fucking rocks to the end of it, and they just beat the shit out of you. And so it's not really a. In the first game, like, you pick your battles wisely. I'd go, okay, I can take a couple of bokoblins, especially the red ones that are just hanging out around a campfire, and then steal their food. In this game, it's like, they have a whole encampment. They have guys looking out, and they all have better equipment for me, and then God knows what's inside that encampment, too, because they do have stronger friends. So, it's like, I'm finding I have to cheese my battles. Like, I thought I had this genius idea of using a power against the enemies, and then they just kind of avoid it. And I'm like, alright, yeah, I guess I'm gonna have to fight you or run away. And then I die. Like, there was a battle I had in an area, and it was very enclosed, and I cheesed it. The enemy was too big to fit through the hole, so I just kept firing through that. So, and those were stronger enemies than most of the earlier ones, but I had to cheese that battle and find out how to do the most damage in the easiest way possible. So, it's not that I don't want to engage in combat, but fucking hell, the enemies in this game have the upper hand completely, which is not the case necessarily with the first game. Definitely in certain areas. Like, if you stepped into a Lionel's area and you just didn't have hearts, you're fucked. That has not been an issue in this game. These are like standard mobs, and they're fucking wrecking me.
But you're earlier than Ken is, so do you still feel that way where you are, Ken? You're, 20 hours in, have you said? 40?
Yeah, I'm 20 hours in.
You still feel like they have the advantage? I'm sure at some point it's going to turn, right?
Well,
you're going to be...
I don't feel like they have the advantage. Like, I could kill them if I wanted to. I just don't. I don't want to break.
You don't want to.
I don't feel the need to fight them because, like, I can get away from them unless they're guarding something like a chest. Because those are back in here. Like, if you defeat all the enemies, then a chest unlocks and you can open it. Like, I'll take on those. But, like, if I'm just running to a point and some enemies pop up and they're like, "Hey, let's fight," I'm like, "Nah, I'm good, dog. I'm leaving."
I got you, because you're prioritizing the exploration part of it. Is what you. I got you.
Yeah,
but I'm about to fuck around and buy Zelda. God, I hate y'all. Okay, all
The
right.
enemies
At
also
least it ain't
have
Ryan this time.
the enemies also have critical points. So like when you get good with the bow, you can like headshot people and it does more damage. You can also fuse things to your arrows so they can do like effects to them. I can one shot most enemies with the bows that I have now. So it's not that they're overly hard. It can just, like Anthony said, they can literally just kind of one shot you because their weapons are powerful. So you just have to be careful.
Yeah, because I think Jay was saying that too, that he was walking in there and got one-shotted, and I was like, dag, okay, well, that's okay. All right, but okay, so the fuse thing I have a question about. You don't answer this if it's going to spoil anything for Ryan, but is that something that you have to do, like, in a menu, or does that just happen naturally in the game? So, like, you're fighting someone and you come across, there's a rock.
Yeah, it's a power. You just hold down the button, and then if the thing is within the circle, and then you fuse it.
Yeah, if you hold down a button, you hold down the left button, and then it'll show you objects nearby. You have to have the item on the ground to fuse it to your shield or sword. But the fuse ability is always on when you pull your bow out.
Yep, you just hit up on the D-pad, and then you can fuse it to an item.
What of the items you want to put on the arrow?
Yep. And they all have different effects, like an eyeball will homing track them and things like that. Yep.
Yeah.
Damn it!
It's awesome. I ain't gonna lie, it's awesome.
It's so weird the way the game has changed and yet stayed the same.
Mm-hmm. And Anthony, what I was telling you earlier, that thing that will not be mentioned here, that makes combat a lot more tolerable.
Yeah. I figured as much.
Okay, so then
that's the reason why I said it made sense.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, okay. All right, I'm gonna play Zelda. I'm gonna get Zelda. We gonna all play Zelda together. All right. Okay.
We go do this, man.
I think my favorite thing, and this is again in the trailer, skydiving.
Yeah, that's fun.
I love how that works now. Because in the first game, you couldn't really do that, even though you had a giant paraglider. You know what? That's another complaint I had. I really wanted that sooner. It's back, but I really wanted that sooner, and I was still kept jumping and then hitting the button again and going, "Oh, that's right, I don't have that ability."
I don't have that.
But yeah, you can just dive out of that. So you just bullets to the ground, and then you can pop the thing up to not kill yourself by hitting the ground.
I would recommend if when you decide to take on one of the things that they tell you to take on, go to the northwest and do that one first. I'm not
vague.
gonna
We'll talk to you later about that.
That was super vague,
yeah,
but I wrote it down.
I'm respecting.
I'm gonna straight up. I'll just straight up say right now. I think I know what he is talking about, but I don't know if there's enough things on the fucking map that they point you towards that it could literally be any of these.
Well, when you first get into Hyrule, she's like, here are 4 things, go do these 4 things. Do the one in the northwest first, because it's so helpful. It's so helpful when you finish that. Of course, I could be wrong, the other 2 could be even more helpful, but I haven't done those yet. I've only done 2 of them before.
One of them just gives you a gun.
Like Link walking around with a fucking M50 or something.
Yeah. Link, you've unlocked the gun. Congratulations.
You can build tanks, though. I saw a clip of somebody build it. That build mechanic is crazy.
Yeah, it's very weird.
To actually do it, to actually
no,
together?
Just the it's funny. I'm bringing up logic, and the logic of how that stuff works. Is just very interesting. Yeah. You can you get the parts in their one-time use drops, so you can carry some of them with you, and so I don't even know which one that would be using, but there's different things. I'll just say the earliest one is that you get the fan to build a raft, and that's the tutorial. That's not just showing you the build mechanic that's been featured, and those fans are one form of these items, and At first, I thought, okay, so it's all gonna be really basic stuff like that. Like, okay, this makes sense, that makes sense. And then there's like ones that do like things that you wouldn't think that you like. There's one, I won't say what it is because I don't want to spoil it. But there's one like shrine. I think they're called shrines in this again.
They are.
And literally, it is all around this simple, like mechanical item that does something specific. And I'm just like, what a weird thing that I didn't think I would need. But then doing that dungeon, I'm like, okay. I'm like, so I can just build things that do that, which is something I didn't think about previously. Like, what a weird... Like, the fan makes sense. I don't know if this is a thing, but it's kind of like having, like, a motor that turns a wheel, right? You understand on a base level. It's like, I need something to turn the wheels. Okay, I use the motor piece. The fan put in the fan in the water, and the boat moves forward. And then it's like... Then there's this thing, and you just go, why? Like, that doesn't power anything. That just does this thing. That just is this one simple mechanic. And then you use that mechanic in that stage, and you go, huh, I think that might be my favorite one. And you're just like, why would I have ever thought to have that one be the thing that I'm going to use the most?
That's like, what I love about Breath of the Wild and in essence Tears of the Kingdom is like, if you think that should work, it'll probably
It generally
work.
does, yeah.
Yeah, like you can take a weapon and connect it to a thing, and it'll do a thing, and you're like, oh, that makes so much sense. But it shouldn't work in a video game, but it just does.
Yeah. Really weird set of mechanics. Like, that's a positive. That's not me complaining. It's just like, I didn't think... I figured we were just getting Breath of the Wild 2.
Yeah. And
here's your bomb power, here's your ice power, here's your stasis, here's your magnesis. Get out there, champ.
Nope.
Now you have building abilities. And then it's like, no.
Every one of the abilities lets me do things that I didn't think I would need, but I totally need them. And they make the game so interesting, especially when you figure something out and you're like, oh, I can do that? Oh, I'm totally going to do that every time.
There was one shrine that I did, and clearly they were like suggesting that I make a raft. But I just kept bringing everything with me from the last puzzle I did, so I just built a big fuck-off bridge.
Yeah, I've built many a bridge where I'm just like...
And they were like, clearly they were like, yeah, you just use a boat to get across here. And I'm like, no. Just a giant fuck-off pole made of logs that I just walked across.
Dude, there's some shit
in
this game.
So there's bits like that, too. I will say this, though. The shrines are a little bit more linear. You know how like some of those shrines in the first game were like, you can just solve this by bullshitting it completely? Some of the powers don't get as much free... Like, if you're not doing one that's like just building shit, they're generally a little bit more linear.
Man, I did one yesterday where, like, once I figured it out, it was just one of those moments where, like, no fucking shit. No fucking shit. Like, it makes so much sense after you see it that you're like, why didn't I just do that to start? Like, that just makes so much sense. It's so simple. But I looked at it for like 10 minutes like, what am I supposed to do?
This game also works better than Banjo-Kazooie Nuts and Bolts.
Oh, it's so intuitive. Like, it shows you where it's going to connect.
Yeah.
Like
it's only irritating when, like, I'm trying to stick a wheel or something, and it's, like, offset. So, like, why... So the wheels are up on one side and where they should be on the other, so it's, like, leaning sideways. I'm like,
Yeah, but then
why
you
would
just
I want
drive
this?
it off and you're like, fuck
I
it.
know, but it's just one of those annoying things where I'm just like, come on, man, you knew what I was trying to do. It's like, yeah, but like now you have a cart that only turns right.
Oh, shit. Man, I love this game. I think it's going to be hard to find a better game this year. I'm not going to lie.
It runs better than expected.
It does, and it like the art style is carrying a lot of weight.
For sure. That first game definitely had some stutter.
Oh, 100%.
At
Like
times.
bad stutter.
I don't feel like I'm having the same issues in this.
It doesn't feel as pronounced as it did in Breath of the Wild.
And I mentioned this in our chat. I watched it like the day before it came out. Someone had put up a video on YouTube that no longer exists. There's a surprise.
Mm-hmm.
And the moment where the title sequence shows, like the logo shows,
which is very early,
right? Literally, like the first section. He when he walks outside, and it stuttered, and I went, I expected that. It didn't happen for me.
Yeah, there was a big patch that happened right before the game came out. I think he was playing on the previous patch.
Probably. It was just one of those like, yeah, okay, that didn't happen. And it wasn't like, see, it's broken. It's just like, yeah, I expect that to happen, because even like Fallout 3, I remember there's always a stutter when you first walk outside, even though there's like a full loading screen. It's a stutter, and then everything pops into focus. So I was like, okay, we're entering a new area, and that didn't happen. So I'm just gonna say I'm impressed that it's running as well as it is.
Yeah, I'm gonna hook up my M Classic today and see if it doesn't smooth out some of the aliasing.
That I know what that is.
It doesn't work with the fucking light box that I have, the 2.1 light box. It like cuts the audio out, so I'm gonna run a direct wire to the TV without the lights and see if it cleans it up.
Gotcha.
So, but no, this game I can't recommend it enough. Like, you should just drop everything and play this game because it's that fucking good.
Yeah, that's what I'll be doing after the show.
Oh yeah, like I said, I'm 20 hours in, and I've only played it for 2 days, and I was playing it so long, I forgot to drink caffeine yesterday until 6 p.m.
Ooh.
Oh, God.
You get a migraine?
I did. I got a headache. I was like, why do I have a headache? I was like, oh, I haven't had any caffeine yet.
That was probably awful.
I was like, I need to stop playing and go get some caffeine. Oh, it's one of those, it is the perfect just one more thing. Like, I'm going to go do one more thing game. And then 3 hours later, you're like, I shouldn't have done all more things. Oh, man. It's so good. So good. I can't wait to play more. 20 hours in, and I can't wait to play more. So. But anyway, we'll move on, because there's not a whole lot more we can say without spoiling stuff. So.
I'm just gonna say one thing. Voice acting. I thought I hated Zelda's voice actress, and I was wrong.
I haven't hated anybody in the game so far.
No,
but there's not a lot of it.
No, but there's a decent amount. There's a few that are like, that's kind of an odd choice. But Jesus Christ. It's interesting so far. Like, Zelda returns. New characters obviously have new voice actors. I'm assuming some of the people from the Hyrule Warriors game are returning to voice people. But like, Matt Mercer announced who he's playing, and it's a very interesting take, and I'm excited to hear more from him because I like Matt Mercer as a voice actor, and he's doing something I wouldn't have expected for that character. So,
because you just mentioned this, is the Warriors game before Breath of the Wild?
The Warriors game is a weird one, man. I don't know if it. I think it's supposed to take. So it's supposed to take place before Breath of the Wild, but apparently there's some weird stuff story-wise that may or may not make it like an alternate timeline thing.
Oh, yeah. I thought the general sort of its general place in the timeline was before
it's
goes sleep.
Yeah, it is the Calamity.
Right.
But they have, I guess spoilers for the Warrior games. They have a small, what are they called? The little spider creatures again.
Guardians.
Wow.
They have a small guardian with them who has some sort of weird connection with the events of Breath of the Wild, I guess, or what happens after Breath of the Wild. There was some weird story stuff in that game that I don't fully recall.
Gotcha.
But yeah,
Okay.
that does show you the idea of what happened during the Age of Calamity, at least.
Yeah, because I have that, and I was like,
It's a Warriors game.
from the
At
chat.
the end of the day,
it-
unfortunately, that's the reality of that game. But
well, see, I like those. I like
do
it.
too.
Like, it
But
was
if you
pretty
don't-
fun. I mean, it's pretty good.
that if you're looking for Zelda, that ain't Zelda necessarily.
No. Yeah, it definitely is a Warriors game. Just as Link, and the only one that I had, because I have a lot of the characters unlocked thus far. The only one I don't really like is Zelda, and it's just because I don't. Maybe it's because I didn't spend as much time as everybody else in Breath of the Wild and using the Sheikah Slate or using all those different abilities or whatever. But like her combos and stuff just don't. I don't know. Like I suck with her so bad.
It's okay. You just play.
Sorry.
You just play Tears of the Kingdom, and everything is fine.
Yes, I'm going to play Tears of the Kingdom. I am. Yeah.
It's okay.
Yeah.
The Tears of the Kingdom where people flying 60 frames per second.
Oh my
Right.
god! I've never seen a game come out where the only people going back and forth about it are people who don't even own Nintendo consoles.
Yeah,
You don't need to
but
stop.
that's how it is always. That was how it was with Redfall. Everybody, well, that's a lie. Everybody was kind of pissed at Redfall, but usually it's just the ones that don't even buy the game is the ones that's complaining.
Yeah,
Like,
but why is
Last
why
of
is
Us 2,
Zelda?
everybody on.
What does Zelda have to do with the Xbox and PlayStation console war?
Nothing. They
Also,
just
Redfall
want-
sucks. We can just admit that. It
I mean, we
sucks.
can.
It sucks in comparison to other games, and it sucks in a vacuum. So
Yeah, just let Redfall go. Like I know y'all are trying to hang on to it because it is your AAA Xbox game, but let it go.
stop
it's
trying
the
to
one.
make Redfall happen.
Yeah, Redfall
Yeah.
ain't gonna happen. It's fine. Let it go.
No, but yeah, I'm actually looking for. Like I said, I played through the intro of Tears of the Kingdom and was when you drop down, and it rolls the title and everything. My jaw. I was like, damn, this is the Switch. Look at all of it, because I imagine all of that you saw, I could go to.
You
Am
can.
I right in assuming that? Yeah. See,
Yeah, it's
I
the
was
same
like,
as
oh
Breath
my
of the
god.
Wild.
Yeah. So okay.
Breath
I'm
of the
gonna play it.
Wild still to this day has one of the biggest "oh go fuck yourself" moments where I was like, "Wow, this area is huge. This beginner's plateau. I can't wait to see it." And they're like, "All right, now you're good to go in the open world." And then like the fog or whatever dissipates, and then you're just like, "I'm just like, this
Bruh.
is fucking huge. What the fuck?" Bro, give me a direction.
You see that whole map and you're just like,
Bruh.
Yeah.
oh, all right. Yeah, everybody, it's Zelda. It's 2023 might be the best year of games ever. It truly might be.
Yeah.
Unless you're on Xbox.
You get to play some of those games that are really good.
You get to play some of those games.
You get to
but
play
ain't got your
Diablo.
own.
You get to play Street Fighter.
Oh.
Mortal Kombat.
You get to play Starfield later.
Starfield later. We had Hi-Fi
Starfield
Rush.
later.
Hi-Fi
That
Rush.
game, Starfield will be the best game of 2023 and 2024 when it actually runs properly. It's the
He's
Bethesda
probably
game.
right.
Yeah.
He's probably right. I mean, it's.
Although I say
Yeah.
that, but I played 4 at launch, and 4 was a better running game than like 3 and
I think
Vegas
Starfield
were,
is
so.
going to be an awesome game, but at the same time, I'm just like, God damn, like.
I really
It's-
hope their new engine is so much better because it's not running off of the Morrowind fucking engine.
It's going to be so hard to pick a game of the year this year.
Where they glued
Oh
shit
yeah,
on top of
that's
it.
going
Like,
to be impossible. Because I mean, you got Spider-Man 2 is going to be a contender. You already
Wait,
know. Oh
when
my
does
God.
that come out again?
September.
September.
Holy shit!
My
you got-
birth month.
Starfield, Breath of the Wild, or Tears of the Kingdom. You've got Street Fighter. You got Diablo. Probably Mortal Kombat. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's gonna be hard to pick a fighting game of the year, let alone a regular game of the year.
Yeah, right.
yeah,
Because I mean,
Tekken,
Mortal Kombat,
Street Fighter, Mortal
Tekken.
Kombat. Tekken's out this year.
Oh, it's not. I thought Tekken
No,
was
it
this
is.
year.
Yeah,
is this
no,
year.
it's this year.
Oh, okay. Yeah, like that's Jesus.
2023
We
is
eating
kind of
good
good
this year, boys.
Yeah,
We
2023 is
eating
kind of good. Speaking of releases, let's talk about what's coming out this week. Xbox Series X, PlayStation 5. We got Last Labyrinth, Lucidity Lost. That's some alliteration right there. Trackmania, Lego 2K Drive, 10 Hearts, Warlander, Crusader Kings 3, The Royal Court, Under the Warehouse, No One Lives Under the Lighthouse, Cyber Citizen Shockman, and Truck Driver Premium Edition.
No One Lives Under the Lighthouse is a really, really well done horror game. Sort of a... I don't want to say... It looks rougher than a PlayStation 1 game, but it's kind of going for that sort of style, early polygonal. But just really good at making you feel uncomfortable.
Which
Even
game was
in the
this?
first
I
part.
missed it,
No One Lives Under the Lighthouse.
Oh, okay, yeah, okay, I saw that.
No one lives under the lighthouse.
Which is funny, because Under the Warehouse is not the same people, and I was like, oh, maybe it's the same people. It's not.
PlayStation 5 has Blade Dancer, Lineage of Light, Humanity, Pursuit Force, Siphon Filter, Logan Shadow,
Okay.
Firmament.
They really releasing all the Siphon filters.
Dude, I made a joke on Twitter the other day. The PlayStation Plus Premium should just be renamed the Siphon Filter tier.
You're right, because they really are releasing all the Siphon filters. I'm not mad at it. I liked the Siphon filter games. I don't think I played anything after maybe the third one.
Dude, I tried to play. So this week I tried to boot up that PSP version that they put out last month.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, you aim with the face buttons.
Oh no!
Yeah, the PSP game's not very good.
No,
I own that game.
Oh,
So
on PSP.
Humanity's
man.
that weird game that Jay
Lemmings.
sent the video of. Yeah,
Yeah, with the people or something. It's like a puzzle.
You're a Shiba
something?
Inu. Yeah,
Yeah.
dude.
Okay, sorry, man. I didn't mean to break your
No,
flow.
you
that's
did.
got some.
Yeah.
Oh shit! It's published by Enhance. That makes so much fucking sense.
yeah, the Tetris Effect guys. Yeah.
The Tetris and Res people. Yeah.
All right, PlayStation 4, Xbox One, mostly the same stuff, but we're also getting Zool Redimensioned. Remember Zool?
I do remember Zool.
I
Like
do, wow.
the weird.
Like he
gecko
looks kind of like a ninja.
gremlin? Yeah.
Yeah.
What's it called? Zool. What? Yeah, but what's the new name?
Redimensioned.
Redimensioned. I want to see what they've done to it.
World Championship Boxing Manager 2, Demon Gaze Extra. Let's see if there's anything on Xbox that's not. No. Verdict Guilty. Infini. And that's it. Move on to the...
Kind of disappointed. So they've rebuilt the game from the ground up to look exactly the same.
Okay. I mean, that thing was on everything. It even came out on the Jaguar.
So they're doing. Well, I think wasn't the second game like exclusive to something? I think the second game was exclusive to one of the stupid platforms. Maybe it was the Amiga 32 CD or whatever it was.
Amiga CD 32? Oh, my
that's
God.
what I think it might have been that. It was dumb. What a weird, over 28 retro platforming challenges, all enhanced for the best possible experience, but you can switch to the original, I guess, as Ultimate Ninja. Quality of life options, including a level select screen, checkpoints, accessibility options, and more. Achievements are added. Play the original Mega Drive version for a truly authentic retro adventure.
Is it actually
What a
coming
weird-
to Xbox?
I don't know. Sumo Digital Academy is putting it out, I guess. What a weird... I don't know. It's just a very weird release.
I just assume nothing is coming to Xbox anymore.
You assume correctly, because it's not. Like,
Also, I wonder if they
everybody
still have
hates
the Chappa Chups fucking license for their fucking... That was the thing that I remember. This had the license for the fucking lollipops there.
That's so fucking...
Wow.
Alright, Nintendo Switch, we've got Gekusu Benza Race Toilet Shooting Star.
I'm not looking
Oh,
that up.
wow, okay.
Yeah, that's a game. Cargast, Bio Prototype, Love on Leave, Magic Bubble Shooter, Classic Bubbles Arcade, Murtop, Never used to say that. I would think Murtaugh. I'm too old for this shit.
Too old for this shit.
Terracotta.
Okay, I did look
Speaking
it
of
up.
toilet shooters.
I looked it up.
Ew.
You don't even. Oh my god! Do you guess what this fucking game is?
A Bubble Bobble style puzzle game.
No, you race on a fucking toilet.
Nice.
Okay.
Like everybody's driving invisible cars, but they're sitting on their fucking toilets racing.
That's probably the sound.
That's probably the sound.
That's not the original bicycle kick sound effect, by the way. That is some dude saying some shit.
Yes, I know. I couldn't find the original one. Go ahead.
Okay.
It can't have been that hard.
Where was it? Oh, Terracotta, Winter's Wish, Spirits of Edo, Battle Kid, Fortress of Peril. I think that's it. I think that's all the games. Oh wow, you are on a. You know what that looks like? That looks kind of like Pain. Remember Pain?
Oh, I do remember
Yes,
that.
I do remember Pain.
Yeah, art style wise, yeah, it kind of does.
Yeah, kind of looks like Pain. What's BP plus
PS3?
53? Baked potato?
Yeah. I'm not looking too much further into this. I saw the screenshots and was like, okay, I was not expecting people
Why
racing
is a
on toilets.
mosquito chasing him? And is this one?
Why not?
Okay, I'm gonna stop looking at this.
Why not?
I like that. That was the
You're right,
concern
you're
you
right.
had. Why is a mosquito chasing him? Why is his toilet moving him like it's a vehicle?
Right.
No.
that
Let's
should be the
overlook
first
that one. Why is there a giant fucking mosquito? Okay.
All right, time for
Priorities.
news. Lots of news this week. Some good, some bad, some what the fuck. Microsoft announced that full-time employees will not get a salary increase this year due to the bad economy.
Oof.
You get them L's, Xbox. You got them L's.
Right, man.
Your Xbox console got updated for May. You can now see the gamer tags of your friends in Discord.
It's also not getting a wage increase due to the economy.
True that.
That's the update.
New search options on the store, like supported languages or accessibility features, a new update for the controller, no idea what it does, and a Game Pass Rewards tab, which I still have not found. I have no idea where that thing is.
So either I have the little alpha dashboard that they're testing, but I haven't seen that Game Pass rewards thing.
Yeah, I saw it, like, it was in their blog post, and I looked where it was supposed to be, and I don't see it. So maybe Xbox just hates me. I don't know. According to Reuters and Bloomberg, the EU will approve the ABK acquisition on Monday. So by the time you're listening to this, we should know the answer to that, which will probably be wrong, because didn't they say it was going to approve the CMA one too? Yeah.
They did, yeah.
That didn't happen. Xbox also hinted that they're thinking about bringing Quick Resume or something similar to PC. PlayStation announced the India Hero Project, which is cool. A couple cool games came out of their China Hero Project, so it'd be interesting to see what kind of games come out of this. But Sony did have a couple of what the fucks. They shut down Pixel Opus, the company that made Concrete Genie. They will be shutting down on June 2nd. They also laid off about more than half of their brand new studio, Deviation Games, before they even put their first game out. That's not good.
No, it's not. Ain't they the ones working on? Do we like that Deviation game is supposed to be a secret AAA?
It's a multiplayer game, and Deviation was made up of people who used to work at one of the Call of Duty studios, I think.
Oh, so this might be a first-person shooter or something.
It might not come out now that they've fired half the people.
Fired some people. Jesus.
Bungie has hired former WB Discovery executive to lead Destiny into film and TV. So Destiny TV,
You know what? Destiny
movies.
I could see that. It has a very deep lore system. Like I used to keep up on. I haven't played Destiny in Jesus Christ, a long time. But yeah, I would watch a Destiny TV show or a movie. That could be good.
Marvel's free prequel comic for Spider-Man 2 is now available online.
Oh, good. I've been waiting for it to pop up online since I wasn't able to go out and get it on Free Comic Day.
Yep, so it should be there now. And a rumor, according to multiple industry people, Sony has a time deal with Konami's upcoming Metal Gear Solid 3 remake, Castlevania, as well as their already announced Silent Hill 2 remake,
Remake Metal Gear Solid, I don't need a third remake.
That's the one that's been rumored heavily.
Fine, I'm like, it's just, I'd love to see Shadow Moses in full 3D.
Go play Metal Gear Solid 4.
Yeah. I want to play through Metal Gear Solid. I don't want to have to deal with 40-minute long cutscenes.
I mean, I want to play through Metal Gear and Metal Gear 2.
But, you can't play Metal Gear Solid 4 because it's stuck on the PlayStation 3.
No, I still have mine
true.
hooked up.
Wait, still?
No, it's never come to anything else.
I could have sworn that it had come to PlayStation 4. Okay.
Nope.
Wow.
Nope, you could stream it for a while, but now it's been removed.
Oh, I think that's what it was. Okay. Jeez. I didn't know they took it away. Of course they did, because it's going to come back to the premium tier. That's what it is. The PP tier.
Yeah, they need something to add when they run out of Siphon Filter game.
Exactly.
They have plenty of MotorStorm games that are on PSP. We're fine.
Oh my god. Fuck off. Alright, speaking of the PlayStation Plus premium catalog, we've got Extra and Premium announced. Extra, again, continues to be excellent. But there's a theme here. It's kind of weird. I don't know. Tell me what you think. Ratchet & Clank Rift Apart is coming, which is cool. Humanity.
Rift Apart.
Humanity for PS4 and PS5. Watch Dogs Legion. Alright, here's where it gets a little weird. Tell me if you notice a pattern here. Dishonored 2. Dishonored Death of the Outsider. Hold on, no, there's another one that goes along with what I'm saying here. The Evil Within 2. Wolfenstein Youngblood. Notice anything?
I guess they paid Microsoft some money.
Let's go say, like a lot of Xbox games on here. We're also getting
Xbox games.
Sakuna of Rice and Ruin, Tomb Raider Definitive Edition, Rise of the Tomb Raider, and Shadow of the Tomb Raider. Bus Simulator 21, Thymesia, Rain World, Lake, Conan Exiles. Is that not free? Is Conan free or is it?
No.
Okay,
no.
I didn't know. Rune Factory 4 Special, Story of Seasons, Friends of Mineral Town, Soundfall, and then our premium tier, which is always of the highest quality. We're getting Siphon Filter, Logan Shadow, because of course we are, Blade Dancer, Lineage of Light, and Pursuit Force, and Ghostbusters, the video game remastered.
Fucking Pursuit Force, Jesus Christ.
Pursuit Force.
That's a game I have because they gave it away for free and I didn't already have it when they had the big PS3 hack. That's the reason why I have Pursuit Force.
It's a PSP game where you're like chasing a
car.
Jump
between cars.
You jump from cars. Like,
Yeah.
I remember that game. I think I liked it back then because it was like you were jumping from different cars and stuff.
What a fucking pull.
You know what else? You know what other game you can do that in? That is a superior game that deserves
Wheelman.
a sequel or something? No, I said
Just Cause.
I said superior. No, superior.
Sleeping
Dogs. There we go. Sleeping Dogs.
Hold on. Just Cause is superior to fucking Pursuit Force.
Oh, yeah, to Pursuit Force. Yeah, it is. Okay, you're right. I did. Well, the first one. Just Cause 2 wasn't. It was.
Just Cause 2 is great.
Just Cause 2 is the best one.
Yeah. Just Cause 2 is the one where it's like, I'm going to fly a plane to the Lost Island.
Yeah.
Oh, you're right. That is that one.
Just Cause 2 is the best
a little
one.
rough.
The first one is
what they're
rough.
going for.
The second one is excellent. The third one is fucking
You know
broken.
what? I'm thinking about true crime anyway. Not Just Cause. I'm thinking about the true crime series.
True crimes are...
Yeah.
Just Cause. Yeah, well, no, and the first one was better. The second one was not when they went to New York. But no, Just Cause, I love those. I didn't play the last one though. 4,
It's
whatever. I don't know what that one.
They're missing the point of I just want to explode things.
Yeah,
Yeah,
2 is
2
the
and 3
goat.
though. I love.
Just play 2.
But 2 is good. And there's a multiplayer mod for 2. I don't know if you know on Steam.
Mm-hmm.
So good. Oh my god, it's so much fun in multiplayer.
Again, PlayStation Premium, no PS1 games, because fuck you. Why would we put those on here? I will never understand what the fuck is going on over there. Oh wait, that's right. They don't care because they don't have to. That's what. Looks like Switch hardware will be spring of 2024 for the new whatever Nintendo system it is. Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom is sitting at 96 on Metacritic. I think that's a little low.
Really?
Yeah, I do. You got the problem? I got the solution.
Is it a copy of the game?
You need to just buy it. That's how good it is.
No, I did. I did. But I actually am playing it currently. Anyways,
Yeah,
go ahead.
Fucking right. A lot of people playing video games. Capcom announced new numbers. Resident Evil series has hit 142 million units. It's their best-selling series.
That seems. I know it seems weird to say this. That seems like a small amount for a series that's that big.
Yeah, Resident Evil 4 Remake has hit 4 million. Monster Hunter series is at 92 million. Monster Hunter Rise Sunbreak at 5.4. Street Fighter series is only at 49 million. So here's a crazy one. So Street Fighter is only at 49. Mega Man is at 38. Like, that seems weird to me. Like, how is Mega Man almost there and they ain't made a fucking Mega Man game in like a decade?
Yeah, that's wild.
Devil May Cry is at 29 million and Dead Rising is at 15.
Then we ain't getting any more Dead Rising.
There's a rumor they're making a new one. We'll see.
Who's making it?
Who fucking knows?
Exactly. Guys, we're giving it to a team that we trust with the horror. It's Bloober team.
As we mentioned earlier, Horizon has broke 32.7 million for both games. Forbidden West is at 8.4 million. Dragon Ball.
I mean, can we just say that that's kind of crazy? Because is that not their newest franchise?
Is Ghost newer? I think Ghost is newer, right?
Ghost is newer, but it only has one game, and I don't know if they'll return back to it or not.
They already announced.
What's the question?
Horizon being the newest Sony new franchise. I think it's Ghost.
Yeah, Ghost is newer. Yeah,
but
Ghost of Tsushima was 2020.
Horizon though has actually had more than one game. So when Ghost beats, I can't believe that number is that high for a game that's still relatively that new. You know what I mean? There's no history to that. There's no even Ghost of Tsushima, right? You at least have do you want to play as a samurai? Right? I don't know. I feel like that's pretty impressive for Horizon to just kind of have those types of numbers and literally be 2 games in. But the last game was in PS4.
Play a game like that?
But what you don't understand is that it's actually a huge failure. Horizon is.
It is.
It's a giant failure. It's a wasted franchise. Yeah.
I mean, obviously.
Yeah.
What is this about mocking?
Xbox says it. The fanboys on Twitter are always like, for Horizon's a flop. It's a flop.
Dude, no.
That
you
number's
ejected
insane. From Twitter. You were smart.
To me, that number is crazy because it's they haven't had they've had comic books. That's really the only tie-in. The comic books I don't think set the world on fire. That's just from being a good game series, right? And
God.
Zelda has had fucking decades, and this series has had what?
So I want to pull up let me find something real quick because this is gonna blow your brain. Give me 2 seconds. I gotta find this dude on Twitter.
Just a picture of a gun and says "Do it, Ken." That's really dark.
All right, here we go.
No one said anything. It made me very
uncomfortable. I chuckled lightly under my breath.
Here we go. So in the UK, after just 2 days, The Legend of Zelda Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom is already the 8th biggest Zelda game of all time. It's already outsold Skyward Sword, The Wind Waker, and A Link Between Worlds.
Crazy.
The Wind Waker one is the crazy one to me.
In 2 days.
Link Between Worlds was a portable game at the end of the day, unfortunately. And
Excellent
Skyward Sword was for sure. But it's that if you're looking for a console Zelda experience, that is not it, right? That was a portable game. So unfortunately, that does cut off some of the people that want to play it. And that was a little later into the 3DS's life cycle too. But Skyward Sword, it doesn't surprise me. It does surprise me about Wind Waker, though, with the reissue and everything, and having the amount of time to get, past the art style that a lot of people had issues with originally.
I mean, I just feel like this thing's gonna be bonkers.
For sure.
Some more crazy.
I was like, because we were talking about. I just want to go back to it though. Like, it still blows my mind that Sony made a sort of science fiction, sort of high fantasy almost game. They've combined the two, and it's fucking taken off like that. Fucking good job, everybody.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I mean, Nintendo doesn't need a pat on the back, but I mean, hey, you did the thing again. Congrats, Nintendo.
So back to some more numbers. The Nintendo Switch software. We all know what the best-selling game is on the system, right? It's obvious.
Mario Kart, right?
Absolutely. 53.79 million copies of that game have been sold. Can you tell me what the second best-selling game on the system is?
Is this just exclusives?
Minecraft.
It's just games on the Switch. Doesn't matter. Like, these are the series. This is the best-selling from Nintendo.
Odyssey?
I guessed Minecraft.
Nope. It's from Nintendo.
Oh, sorry. I thought it was just the best on the Switch. Shit. From Nintendo?
Smash Brothers?
Nope.
What the devil? What? Okay.
Animal Crossing?
There you go. Animal Crossing New Horizon.
Right. Yep.
42.21 million.
Everybody had that game. Like, we bought it twice at my house. Like, everybody's playing Animal Crossing.
Yeah, that came out at the perfect time too, because that was a very pandemic game.
Yeah, it was, because I had to buy Switches and Animal Crossing. Yeah. Oh man.
I'll give you this one. This one might be a little harder. Sega's best-selling franchise. You know what that is?
Sonic.
Sonic at 1.48 or 1.4 billion with a B.
Woo.
What's number 2 though?
Oh, I saw this not too long ago, and I don't remember.
Phantasy Star?
No.
Shenmue.
Nope. 12
12
copies doesn't count, Ryan.
Is there? God damn it! Is it licensed?
No.
No, it's not like in a professional sport, because I know that they did those for a long time.
Nope.
Is it an Atlas game?
Nope.
Okay, because I remember that was coming up at the same time. I just couldn't remember if they were separated. Hold on.
Man, I don't
think you could guess 2 or 3.
Sega game.
I don't think you could guess 2 or 3, because you're going to be like, oh yeah, that's Sega.
Wow.
Super Monkey Ball.
No.
No, I know that's Sega. Fuck me, man. I feel like you're gonna say it. I'm gonna be like, yeah, it's dumb, but okay.
Is it a sports game?
3 is. 2 is not.
Okay.
They make a sports
Is 3
game?
tennis?
No. Tennis.
Okay.
Um,
Better not be fucking bass fishing. God damn it.
God, no. It's not bass. It's not that kind of sport. No.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think I give up.
All right. Number 2 is Total War.
Oh, right. Yeah,
Oh
I
my
did
God.
see that.
I
Yeah.
did
that
forget
is
that
it.
was Sega.
Yeah.
I did too. I play those games.
Number 3 is Football Manager.
Oh,
Okay.
I've never-
fuck,
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't do soccer.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
That's
you don't get
that's
into
from their like European division.
You don't get back into shit you guys recognize until Like a Dragon is at 20 million and Persona is at 17 million.
There you go.
I
Yeah.
remember seeing that, and you know what? Now that you said Total War, I'm like, yeah, that's right. Yeah. I knew it was something weird, and I was like,
I wish they would bring that Dragon Quest X here. Speaking of,
Yeah,
this-
I do too. Because
The
it's going to be
MMO.
the only one I can't play.
yeah, I know. Like, it's the MMO one. Like,
they
it
put that
still
shit on a
hasn't-
fucking Wii U.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
it is the MMO one, but they did make an offline version of it.
Yeah, what I'm
Oh,
saying is,
really?
like, if
Yeah.
these motherfuckers will put it on Wii U, they should have no problem putting it into English and sending it over here, motherfuckers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, get a little
Oh,
angry.
well.
All right. Release dates.
I want my Dragon Quest, you son of a bitch.
I got you. You're good. System Shock has gone gold. It'll be out on PC on May 30th. Consoles are later this year.
Oh, cool.
Dordogni? Dordog? I don't know how you say that. It's launching June 13th. Xbox, PlayStation, Switch, PC, and Game Pass. What the fuck? Gimmick Special Edition launches July 6th.
Yes, that Mr. Gimmick.
Natsuman 20th Anniversary Summer Vacation, July 28th on the Switch. I don't know, like, most of these games. These are weird games. The Asus Rogue Ally is June 13th, $699. Cheaper and less powerful version, $599, quarter 3.
Yeah, it looks so cool, but man, that battery life really kills it for me. Like,
I must have missed this. What's the battery life?
I shouldn't say kills it, but basically on not even the highest power setting, like the 15 watt setting, but running at high graphic settings, it's like 2 hours.
Oh my god!
And if you run it at 30 watt, the highest power setting that you can get to, it's like 1.
Okay,
dude,
what's the point?
So you can run it on what they call silent mode, which is lower power, and you'd have to run a lot of games way down on the power scale, and you'll get like 6 out of that.
Man,
I got a Switch.
My Switch has never come out of the dock.
I don't know.
Well, in this case,
when there's the Steam Deck.
Yeah, you can dock it.
That the Steam Deck battery life is way Jesus. Yeah.
Yeah, it's that sort of kills the whole, because the whole thing is how much more powerful it is than the Steam Deck, which is cool, but you're sacrificing a ton of battery life if you want to actually use it at its full power.
Yeah.
All right, some delays. We got some delays. Hollow Knight Silk Song was delayed unto an unannounced date.
It can't have it coming.
You know what? Don't sign your marketing deals with Xbox, because your game just going to get delayed.
Yeah, that should be the lesson here, because...
and remember, Game Pass hurts games, so don't sign up for that either.
Yeah.
Are we talking about that? Is that on the list, or...
Which game was that?
The fucking Somerville?
Oh, yeah, Somerville.
No!
Hey, I'm just gonna fucking deviate. To that guy that said, like, Game Pass hurts games, like, that could be true, but your game's a piece of shit, so your game can't be the one that we base that discussion off of.
Well, that was even what was...
End of story.
That was what was in the story, was, like, he was mad that people got a chance to play it and then deleted it, and he's like, I wish I'd have just sold it to him. I'm like...
Right, so what you're saying is, I wish I could have pulled the scam.
Yeah,
basically,
you're a piece of shit. Like, your game sucks. It has a 70 on OpenCritic, which
that's generous, man.
That's a generous. I gave that game a 4. That is a game that is like that genre of game is built for me. I love puzzle platformers or cinematic platformers or whatever you want to call them. I think they're brilliant. I really loved Limbo and Inside, which are both games that he had a hand in making. He went and started his own studio. Somerville looked interesting. I played it for review. It, first of all, on a design level, piece of shit. Just, wow, you had that third dimension and it just slows everything down. Puzzles weren't nearly as good. And then I almost couldn't finish the game because there's just problems, which would have been too far into the game if I had played it on Steam and bought it on Steam to refund the game. So, sure, Game Pass hurts games, maybe if the game is good. I can't tell that, though, because I'm going to be honest with you. We've had examples of games being free on services, air quotes, like Rocket League, that did extremely well from word of mouth because it was a good game that people tried because it was free. So you can't be like, well, it hurts games. Your game was bad. And unfortunately, I don't think you've set out to make a bad game, but it was bad. And at the end of the day, like, that's going to affect sales far more. People got to try it and walk away from it without feeling the brunt of the financial aspect of spending $30 fucking dollars on it, which, by the way, is more than Inside ever cost and more than Limbo ever cost. In fact, I think it's the price of them combined when they were brand new, 10 and 20, and it doesn't live up to either of those. So, yeah, like, your game sucks. End of story. Like, there's people out there that I'm more than willing to hear this argument from. I'm sure there's good games that get lost in the shuffle. But every time somebody comes out and talks about Game Pass bad, it's like the game that you wouldn't want to defend. End of story.
I mean, the success stories are like good games. Like if you talk about High on Life, which was a good video game, that was a huge success. It was not. Shut up.
But like
High on Life was a great game.
High on Life, I think would have done what it did regardless. I just think more people got a hand on it because it was Game Pass, but I feel like people would have been interested because at the time the creator was, do no wrong. It looked interesting. I'm talking more small indie stuff.
Descenders did really
Descenders, well? Right. And then there's that one guy that you follow on Twitter who talks about putting all of his games on Game Pass. Like
that's
he's
the
a
guy
publisher.
That does Twitter, that did Descenders.
Okay, right. And so, like, yeah, like, I am interested to know when it doesn't pay off for a dev who's put good work into their game and, like, has a good game to show for all that. But, like, you released a buggy mess that wasn't fun to play. And so that conversation can't be had in good faith. Like, ultimately, what you're saying is Xbox got the worst end of the deal there. Because you're saying, oh, I would have been able to sell more. It's like, maybe? But I feel like word of mouth would have gotten out that your game's not very good and it's not worth $30.
You should have thanked Jesus for Game Pass, if for nothing else other than Redfall.
I mean, right, the barrier of entry is low. I mean,
all I had to do was download that game, and then 2 hours later, I'm like, you know what? I'm done.
Like my head out.
I don't want to be discrediting of people that think that Game Pass has not paid out for them. You know what I mean?
Sure.
There's definitely a conversation to be had about the fine line between a deal for the consumer and the how the developers get screwed. I feel like that's just something that we should talk about. But for some reason, every time it's Game Pass hurts devs, it's about some shitty game that just really, ultimately, it's like you should be happy people played your game at all.
Another delay. Assassin's Creed Mirage has been internally delayed from August to October. Also, the AC VR game has been delayed internally by a few months. Skull and Bones is never coming out, just so you know. I swear to God, I can't believe the game is not out. I
didn't know there was a VR game.
Yeah, I don't have the name of it, but yeah, it's been delayed a couple months.
When you actually are getting like wood and stuff, like you can come off the ship.
Skull and Bones never coming out.
It's fine.
Goodbye Volcano High has been delayed to August 29th. I'm sorry, but that game looks so fucking stupid. I'm sorry.
It does, actually. But,
I just don't care. Amnesia the Bunker got delayed again to June 6th. Mouse, an FPS game which looks like an old Disney cartoon, got announced for Xbox, Switch, and PC. I think
that game looks a lot of fun.
It looks like Cuphead in first person, and it's kind of crazy.
Yeah, it looks. I didn't know it was announced for those. I thought it was just an early access thing. I didn't know it was announced for.
It's called Mouse. It looks like
I put it in the Discord yesterday.
Yeah, it looks like Mickey Mouse first person shooter from like old school Mickey Mouse.
Yeah,
wow!
Like,
okay,
Willy style Mickey Mouse. Like I'm down. Like it looks fun. I'm down.
Well, it kind of reminds me of there's that black and white detective game that takes place in first person where everybody's. And it looks kind of like this, where everybody's flat. I'll have to find the name of it. Very interesting, though. What if you're punching people as Mickey? I hope they have a sound alike doing the main character.
Well, the sniper rifle can take the enemy's heads off, which is kind of funny in that art style.
Well, isn't
that art? Yeah.
So, and this was on John Oliver a few weeks ago. Isn't that likeness license up soon?
The Steamboat Willie one is.
Yeah.
So I've had a discussion with somebody at work over this because they're like, well, I could just make my own Steamboat Willie cartoon, but I'm like, yeah. The thing is that if you so much happen to have that Mickey Mouse looking dude do anything that Mickey Mouse did later, they can sue you because that's not a thing that Steamboat Willie did.
Yeah.
It's the same with Sherlock Holmes. Like, you can't mention that's almost over too, but like if Sherlock Holmes and divorce happens, like there's potential lawsuits because that's a thing that happened in a book that's still protected by copyright. So Superman, the first Superman comic goes into public domain in like a decade, I think, or something like that. And he can't fly. If you have him flying, that's not in the original comic. That's a later edition. So he can only leap. And it's just weird shit like that where they will motherfuck you into oblivion because they have a ton of money.
I was going to say, I don't want to deal with anybody's lawyers, especially Disney's.
Nope.
Game Freak of Pokemon fame announced their new game, Project Bloom, which is a new adventure game planned for 2026.
Why are we announcing stuff so early? Like, I understand the need for hype and all of that, but, bro, really? Because you'd announce it for 2026, and then 2026 is going to roll around, and you're going to be like, hey, we're going to have to push back to 2027.
It's delayed. Yeah.
Yeah, like, why even do this? Like, if we don't know about it, then we ain't got to worry about delaying it in 2026.
By the way, the game I was thinking of, that I was like, yeah, it's all 2D. It kind of reminds me of that game I talk about quite often. Ken knows what I'm talking about. The game's called Fallen Aces, where you play as a grizzled noir detective in a first-person shooter, and it's all two-dimensional. It looks fucking goddamn it. Ken, do you remember the name of that game that I'm talking about?
I don't remember the name.
Void Bastards.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, it all looks like Void Bastards to me. This really clean two-dimensional art and then like 3D environments that have this like comic book look. But yeah, that's what that mouse game reminded me of, was Fallen Aces.
All right. Doom 1 and 2 got a free add-on, which adds 27 new levels, because we always need more Doom 1 and 2 levels. Street Fighter 6 open beta for May 19th through the 21st. Street Fighter Q&A set for May 12th, which is passed. Devolver Digital announced again that a showcase is planned for June. Ubisoft laid off 60 employees, so that's always fun. Plague Tale Requiem finally got a 60 FPS mode. You can play that now on PS5 and Series X. 3 games were rated in Korea, including Under Night In-Birth 2, which has not been announced yet. Dragon Quest Treasures for PC and River City Ransom Rival Showdown. The Keeleys have announced 40 partners for Summer Game Fest. Obviously, all the big names are in there. Sledgehammer's Call of Duty game for 2023 is called Modern Warfare 3. Features a campaign, multiplayer zombies, and a new Warzone map.
Was it not? Oh God, am I so far off? Was it not Modern Warfare 2 last year?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
And this game wasn't supposed to be a full-fledged game. It was supposed to be kind of add-on for Modern Warfare 2, but it ballooned up, so they're going to make it a full.
I got no complaints because again, it's not my bag or whatever. But like, I was like, did I skip like a Call of Duty? Was I that unaware? Okay, was Modern Warfare 2, and they're just going right into Modern Warfare 3. That's kind of crazy.
Humble Game Showcase announced for May 18th, so that's this week. Wolfeye Studios of Weird West fame announced a partnership with Galaxy Interactive for a new ambitious IP. A Twitter user by the name of Bill Coon leaked the first info of Mortal Kombat, which has been corroborated by several other people. Supposedly it's called Mortal Kombat 1, launches on Xbox Series, PlayStation 5, PC, and Switch, runs $70. According to these rumors, it is a reboot of the series, and there have now been 3 rumored guest characters, including Peacemaker, Homelander, and Conan the Barbarian.
Fatality.
There you go.
I'm going to say now, Conan is a good pull. I mean, the other two are good, but they're
listen. That title, man. You're right. But that title, Mortal Kombat 1.
They just rebooted it 3 games ago.
Right.
This is
so
This is a different reboot.
Right.
Reboot of the
Think
reboot.
about how crazy that sounds, man.
No,
This is a
it's
different
not.
reboot.
No, hold on.
I don't call one.
It's a there's a reason it's called 1 though.
I know.
Like, I can't really get into it without spoiling.
And I played it.
But
yeah, I know what the perspective.
It's a bad name.
There has to be a better way. Like Mortal Kombat: A New Beginning. Like why Mortal Kombat 1? Like that's
Mortal Kombat the one. Better. Fuck.
Actually,
starring Jet Li.
Starring Jet Li.
Can we get
versus Jet Li?
No, God no.
Originally starring The Rock before he had to pull out.
Oh God,
I'm sorry.
Freaking
what?
But you know what though? Like Kid said, I don't even care what it's called. I'm still gonna play it.
Well,
That
yeah,
movie was gonna star The Rock.
Yeah, the Rock was originally the target.
Oh,
thank
The 1 was a
in the
vehicle for
one?
The Rock. Yeah.
I'm so glad it was Jet
I
Li.
never
Oh my
knew that.
God.
Wow.
Yeah, look it up. He was it was originally built to be a vehicle for The Rock.
You sound like a kid on the playground. Look it up, I swear.
Look it up,
Dude,
man.
My
uncle works for the publisher.
I'm just glad it didn't happen. Remember when The Rock was going to make a Spy Hunter film?
Oh, I do. There was a
remember
game
that.
too.
Remember when The Rock
There was
was
a
going to
game.
make Black Adam?
Yes.
Remember when he told us like 15 years ago that he was going to make Black Adam?
He was the most important DC character. Why don't you guys understand that?
Right.
Remember when The Rock making Black Adam completely destroyed the DC universe?
Yeah,
Oh,
I can't even remember the word he used, but he was Black Adam is coming to
Ruined
shake
Henry
up
Cavill's
the-
career.
Yeah.
He fucked it up so bad they had to go get James Gunn. I mean,
They're like, you know what? We cast the most perfect Superman since Christopher Reeve, and now it's all ruined.
yeah.
Right. Because The Rock's out here like, hey, you know what? Just
That's just because Henry Cavill was like, I've read a couple Superman comics, and I don't think he'd do that.
Gotcha, bitch.
Oh man. Oh,
All right.
geez. Okay.
Moving on. Yeah, Mortal Kombat 1 release date September, according to the rumor. So.
That's cool. I mean, I'm gonna play it. I like the guest character sounds cool, but I really want Injustice 3 more than I want a new Mortal Kombat. I know that's your game. I really would like another Injustice.
I got 2 things that while they're on my head, on my brain. Conan just switched publishers, so it's funny. It's funny because Marvel had the rights for Conan, and now they don't anymore. And I'm wondering if that allows Conan to be in Mortal Kombat now. And 2, while I was thinking about comics, Cliffy B's writing a comic.
He's writing a Broadway show too, right? About Britney Spears music or something?
What a fucking...
I used to follow him on Twitter when he was talking about that, but then he just got like kind of, I don't even know if pretentious is where he just got. I was like, nah, I'm cool, homie. Like I don't even know because he was like, I got to
hear every thought.
And then he would put, like every single, and me and Lauren are doing this. And I'm like, nigga, okay. I mean, that's cool, but like, so I don't even follow him no more. So I don't, but I did hear about the last I heard he was writing a Broadway show, which I thought it had opened.
He's writing a comic
Well,
book
he's writing a
about
second
dogs.
Broadway show.
Oh, well, all right, then I missed that. All right, well.
well, then,
Hold on,
okay.
The comic book was Image Comics. Acclaimed game designer Cliff Bleszinski teams with best-selling writer Alex DeCampi and artist Sandy Jarrell for upcoming comic book series Scrapper, and it's about dogs. I'm going to take a wild guess and say Cliff came up with an idea, and Alex DeCampi is now writing it.
Yep, I can see that though, because that was another thing that would always be on his Twitter is his dog, and then I think one of them passed, and I understand people get he's a very big pet person, so I could see that, but I'm not going to read that comic. I'm happy for him though in his journey.
The only comic so far that's been made by like a celebrity of any sort of suit that I'm like, that's a really good comic. That isn't.
I hope you're going to say. I hope you're going to say what I hope
Berserker.
You're going to say. Yes, good. Yes. Oh my God, that's
weird,
so good.
Weird,
the movie?
but like clearly, like, Keanu Reeves has been, like, involved with it. He didn't write the whole thing, but he
No,
definitely
but he's
had
involved.
involvement, because I've heard him talk about it in detail.
Yeah, like he loves that project. Like, I hope they do a game and like, yeah.
The only other ones that I've heard where like somebody from something else is involved that's actually good is when the person was playing that character. Like I just told you about the Star Trek one, where one of the guys that was in the show was writing it. And then the Riddler, Paul Dano is writing a Riddler comic.
Yeah, I read about that.
Based off of his Riddler. So it's like, okay, well, he at least understands his character, so he's going to write a comic that's based on his version of the Riddler. That's interesting. The Penguin there, Danny DeVito wrote a comic, and it's very much what you'd expect from Danny DeVito.
I believe it.
Yeah, it's a short, but yeah. Sorry, I want to bring it up because I messaged you all last weekend.
I missed it. He said it's a short. Talking about Danny DeVito. No one caught that? Come on.
God damn it. I didn't even mention that. That was good.
Congratulations.
The accidental ones are the best.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Except when it comes to children.
We've got a couple emails. Wow. We're just going to move past that one. A couple emails.
That was also good.
Jeremy says his email's titled Zelda. He says, "Hey guys, super pumped for Tears of the Kingdom. That's going to take some getting used to. I took my son to the 9 p.m. release at GameStop, got the game, and a little Link dead arm sleeve thing. Last one of those I went to was for Dark Souls for the 360. What was the last in-person release you guys have been to?"
Oh man,
I know. I was hoping he wouldn't ask that. I was like, go ahead.
So the last one, I can tell you the ones where I was like camped outside. Sort of. I did. So I've only ever done 2 midnight releases. The first one was Halo 5.
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. And the second one was Fallout 4.
I can see that one.
And Fallout 4 was, I didn't have a job at the time. Like, I was in between jobs. It was only a month. And for that month, between jobs, I just played Fallout.
Nice.
Yep. And so I have good memories of Fallout 4. Is it the best game ever? God, no. But it's got some of my favorite gameplay of the Fallout games. I do remember going, like, the day of, like, as soon as EB Games opens, I need to go. I did it for some amiibos, but that was crazy. I went for Majora's Mask 3D. They had special editions that people did not order, and I was like lined up just to see if I could get a special edition, and I did. So I have that Skull Kid figurine. And the one that I remember going the day of, and it's funny because somebody on Reddit asked, like, recently, like, what game did you pre-order and were super excited for, and then realized no one else was there for the same game as you? And mine is Bulletstorm.
Oh my!
It came out the same day. It came out the same day as a Call of Duty. And I was like, what, is everybody here for Bulletstorm? I didn't think it was going to be this big. And they're like, Call of Duty came out today. And I went, oh.
Bulletstorm was good.
Man, It
was!
What was yours?
I can't think of, like, the last midnight thing that I remember going to was the Xbox One.
Yeah, I mean, I think the last midnight thing I went to might have been the Wii.
I went to the PS4 and the Xbox One because they were within a week of each other, and that's the last time I remember a midnight launch.
See, I didn't get those at launch.
Me neither.
So I can remember 3. They all happened around the same time, but I don't remember which happened first because I was still married to my ex-wife. It was the Gears of War 360 console. Remember the red console that they released? It might have been when Gears of War 3 came out, or Judgment. I don't remember. StarCraft 2 and the Injustice game where you got the statue of Wonder Woman about to smash Batman with a spaceship.
That was the first
Anybody remember that one? Oh, that was the first one. Okay,
Yep.
those three. I don't remember the order of which they came out. That's why I just said them all. But those are the midnight launches that I remember. That was the last one.
I can't believe you went to a midnight launch for StarCraft. You should have just downloaded that shit off BattleNet.
Bro, no, I was because I bought the collector's edition. I bought the physical thing. Like I went.
How's that
all in.
working out for you now?
Well, it's in a box.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
but I totally could have.
That fucking Injustice statue that you're talking about, I have it. It's in a box in the garage.
Yep. And listen, mine actually, I threw it away when we moved because it broke.
It was a piece of shit,
and it was a piece of shit. But it broke, so it didn't make it here, so it's in the trash.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure mine's broke too. Like I think the wings of the ship came off.
Yep, that's what it was. That and then like it was barely holding on, like it was like dangling, like wherever it was the ship was attached on the back, it was like dangling, which I think it was just around like Wonder Woman's rope or something. But yeah, it was a piece of shit. But yeah, those were my midnight. I'm sorry, Anthony, what were you saying?
I still have the Injustice 2 statues, which is Brainiac and Batman, because of course it's always Batman.
Of course,
I didn't even get that one. Yeah, nice.
I have that one, and guess where that's at? It's in a box in the garage.
I never did the statue things. I have 3. That's it.
I'm pretty sure I got a whole one of them box dedicated in my garage.
Actually, sorry, I have 4. I have 4 that I specifically went out and bought, and then I have a Dark Souls 1 because my dad just wanted the DLC from the collector's edition. I know that sounds crazy, but he was like, at that point, he was only going to play Dark Souls 3. So he bought the most expensive version and then handed me the statue. But I have Infamous 2 because I love Infamous. I have The Last Guardian. I have that Majora's Mask figurine I talked about. And then I bought this long after the fact because it was cheap, and I really liked Watch Dogs 1. I bought the Watch Dogs 1 statue. Probably the best looking one, too. It's got the best paint job. It's just Aiden Pierce holding a gun and looking at his phone.
Yeah.
But it's a really good paint job. The Infamous one is a little rough, to be honest.
I mean, most of those things are pieces of shit.
Last Guardian is just kind of a chunk.
I have very few video game related statues. I have a couple Funko Pops, but like in terms of collector statues from like games, I think I might have like a small Ryu bust from Street Fighter Anniversary Collection somewhere still. I think that's really about it. I don't have a whole lot of like those collector statues things.
I did
so many.
Order one. Jesus. I ordered one because it was the Mega Man Battle Network Mega Man.exe figure.
Did you see that art book I sent earlier?
Yeah, I might end up picking it up. I think it's not too much more when it's not on sale, so I'm not too worried. I don't need the hardcover though. I think I have just the soft cover for the standard Mega Man Complete Works. But I've got a statue coming of Mega Man EXE, which will look good next to my Mega Man Star Force figurine. I love that fucking series. It's the only one I'll cave for because I just love the artwork of that character. Like, I think that's like just peak Mega Man design. But the collector's editions I've never waited in line for other than Majora's Mask because it's one of my favorite Zeldas. I did try to get the Sonic Generations one, but that was only in the UK.
Stupid.
But yeah, waiting in line. After Fallout 4, I haven't had because I worked on overnights for 6 years, so that wasn't going to happen. I couldn't wait in line at midnight. I was at work, and then they just haven't had too many near me to go.
Yeah, I don't have like. The shit unlocks at like 9 p.m. I'm good.
That too. They started making it where it was more of a time around the world release, thank God.
Yeah, and Ken, you don't buy physical stuff anymore anyway, so...
Nope, I haven't bought physical since PS4 and Xbox One started, so...
I still like my physical media, so...
I make... Yeah. Generally, like, I will avoid physical media now at this point, because I don't need it. Nintendo stuff, like, because it's an actual cartridge, is a bit different. and Yakuza is the only other series where I'll be like, yep.
I have 2 Switch cartridges, and it drives me up a fucking wall.
Which ones are those?
I have Breath of the Wild, because they sent it to me with the system back when it came out to review. And I have Bayonetta 2.
Nice.
That's a weird one. Okay.
I have a ton of Switch probably 30 Switch physical games. I especially in series that I enjoy, I like to buy games physically. If it's just like, some game that I'm going to play because somebody said it was good, then I'll buy it digitally. But
Jim Bob's Crazy Cave Adventure.
Yeah, but if it's a series I care about, I buy it physically.
You know what I hate the most about physical?
What?
Swapping the disc.
Yeah, see, that doesn't really bother me.
Me neither.
I tend to only play one game at a time anyway, so I'm not really swapping.
All right, I got one more email, and I'm going to be honest with you. When I saw the title of this email, I was like, uh-oh, what do we do?
I mean, I wasn't even on last week, so what did you guys do?
When I saw the title of the email is LBGTZTGD podcast.
Okay.
The email has nothing to do with that.
Lust.
Oh, okay.
All right.
This comes from Antonio. It says, unfortunately, I decided to delete Dead Island 2. But that's because I wanted to prevent myself from playing it a second time and focus on Breath of the Wild. I have no idea what I'm doing or where I'm going. I just finished defeating the first beast that was an elephant. I try to avoid fighting as much as possible in order to avoid breaking my gear. I'm just not finding a groove with this game yet, but I'm flailing along.
The next thing you should do, and this is very weird, because it's on the opposite side of the map. So on the west side of the map, you want to do you can see it, I think, from where you're standing, anywhere on the map. If you look up into the sky, there should be a giant bird, divine beast, and that is where you want to go next.
That's the Rito village, right?
Yes, and once you're done that, you will have 2 powers that I think will help you move through the environment easier and deal with enemies a lot better, because power you get is just an upward draft that you can ride. So it allows you to kind of make space between enemies vertically. If you need it, it also allows you to just kind of travel far distances by gliding. It's also the easier one because you don't have to do a bunch of... As long as you have warm clothes, which you should at this point, because you kind of need them in the first area of the game anyways. That area is not too difficult. Like, getting into the Gerudo area and getting not burnt alive in the volcano are definitely a lot more work. But there's definitely a curve to that. You will start getting better weapons shortly, though. I believe this is where I started, like, gameplay wise. I think this is where I started to get weapons that weren't just rusted to shit. In Breath of the Wild. And then once you're there, it's like, okay, kind of cruising along. You just start feeling like you have to avoid enemies as much, that you can just kind of travel in a straight line. It's a weird game, man. Everybody plays it differently.
That's the thing about Tears of the Kingdom, is that we'll all be playing it. I guarantee you none of us will have the same experience.
Nope.
But the nice part about this one, unlike Breath of the Wild, is that, like, the shared experiences from most people in Breath of the Wild are probably the most boring fucking parts. The Divine Beast.
Yeah, I was not a fan of the Divine Beast.
The shrines are cool, but there's 120 or whatever of them, so, like, outside of a couple, like, you're not going to remember details to talk about them because they'll kind of blend into one. The biggest shrine I think that stands out is still the island, Eventide. So, it was like moments that I had in Breath of the Wild when, at least with Tears of the Kingdom, there's like a little bit more structures. So, like, if you do a temple or whatever you called them, like those are consistent. The towers and doing the puzzles to open up the towers is consistent. So there'll at least be a little bit more dialogue there. But yeah, like I played probably Breath of the Wild different than Ken played it, and I wasn't swearing at it as much as Ryan was when weapons were breaking.
4 out of 10.
But
4 out of 10.
my sword broke. 4 out of 10. Yeah, it should be. But yeah, it's it does have a difficulty curve. Although I'm going to tell you right now, like if you think it's bad in fucking Breath of the Wild, like these fucking enemies in this fucking Tears of the Kingdom game are bastards.
He says, other than that, I haven't played much else. I plan on getting Diablo 4, which will be my Diablo game. I did really enjoy the initial demo, but I have a question. How did Diablo 3 play? Was it an MMO because people played that game for years? Am I going to play Diablo 4 for 50 hours as a single player, or will there constantly be new content?
I'm guessing there's going to be a lot of new content along the way.
With 2 passes? Yeah. Absolutely. A season pass and a battle pass?
Yeah, there's a lot of time. And man, even in the game, like the beta so far, like that map is so big. Like there's areas that's unlocked to the beta that I still haven't made it to. And like I said, I've already reached the level 20 cap. Like I haven't even been into these spots. Like some of it's walled off. So it's
open world?
Yeah. You can just wander. Like you can go from when you spawn and just go to the wherever. Like, yeah.
Interesting. Was that always the case with Diablo? Or?
No, there were missions.
I was gonna say I didn't think so. I just wasn't 3. Sure. Like maybe I had that wrong in my head.
Yep, there were actual like acts and chapters in Diablo 3. It was like a story, linear driven progression.
This one's just like go fucking ape shit. All right.
Pretty much.
I think it's because it has that MMO, component. So, when you're wandering in the open world, not when you're in the dungeons, when you're in the open world, like I said, you'll see other players run by. Like, it won't be like Diablo Immortal where it's 175 niggas on the screen. Like, you may see 1 or 2 guys come past, and then there'll be like these big, like, world events that you can get into where you'll be glad somebody comes, because it's hard. And then they'll get credit in a chest and a reward and, whatever. So I think that's why. So, cause like a perfect example, when I was playing today, a dude was in a world event and he was level 20 and I was coming up there. And I think I was maybe like level 12, but the stuff I was fighting was level 12. The stuff he was fighting was level 20. So it scales to you. The world scales to your level, if that makes sense.
That's interesting.
We got a clip. Yeah. We got a clip there.
We do? Damn it! Okay.
What was it?
When Terrence says, when you hope somebody comes.
All right, well, we now have 2, Terrence. We now have 2.
Whatever.
You're welcome, Terrence. I had to ask him, and he had to say it.
Jesus. Whatever. Well, I hope all y'all
now.
Huh?
You got Ken now, too.
Yeah, you can have mine. That's fine.
Oh, yeah, nice. Yeah, perfect. But no, I hope y'all get that because, I do want to.
I'll be playing Diablo for sure. It's weird because like I'm gonna go from a big ass open world to another big ass open world to a third big ass open world at the end of the year, and like those 3 games could be my whole year.
Yeah, but at least you'll have some fighting games in the middle there.
I will.
Yeah.
What? Oh my god, I'm sorry. What is the big open world game at the end of the year?
Starfield.
Oh, right. Duh. Okay. Duh.
No, Redfall.
Well, you know what? And Assassin's Creed, I guess that one, the Mirage is not going to be that giant open world.
No, but it'll still be significant.
Yeah.
I'm excited for that.
I am too.
I like the original design of Assassin's Creed. It had its flaws for sure. So, having like a reinvigorated version. Yeah, I don't know. There's just something about that I'm really excited for.
Man, 2023 is too good. It's too fucking good.
Mm-hmm.
The only way this could get better is that at Ubisoft's whatever, Ubi Forward, I don't know what they fucking call it, is if they announce Blood Dragon 2. And it's coming out this year.
Oh,
just do it.
Blood
just
Dragon
fucking make Blood Dragon 2.
Oh my god, the Far Cry. Yeah, that was cool.
Everybody keeps asking, and they're just like, no.
I'm gonna tell you this right now.
Fucking Trials.
Ubisoft has no fucking respect for Blood Dragon. I don't know if you played that remastered version they put up on Xbox One and PS4. That thing runs like trash. It is so
it's a shame.
bad.
That game is so fucking perfect.
I don't know
It's
why they didn't
dumb.
make it 60 frames per second. It's
I don't know
awful.
why they haven't fucking done anything with that fucking the brand. They did. You know what else they did with that fucking game? They made a sequel to it, and it's fucking a Trials game.
Yeah, Trials of the Blood Dragon.
And you know what? That's fine, but then I want fucking Assassins of the Blood Dragon. You know? Just make it some stupid thing that infects all their fucking franchises. Rabbids of the Blood Dragon.
Are we going back to like the Alex Kidd, or is it Alex Kidd in Shinobi World?
Yeah, sort of like that, yeah.
Just put him in other games.
That was supposed to be a Shinobi game.
I know, it was
Probably
supposed to
would've
be
done-
like a whimsical Shinobi game.
Shinobi Kid, and it
Yeah.
should have been... It should have been a Shinobi Kid, because it probably would have sold better.
Yeah, but it was still good.
It is. You were originally supposed to fight Mary O, who definitely wasn't Mario, and when you defeated him, he shrunk and ran off the screen.
Dude, I just had a Dumb and Dumber
Wow.
flashback, because as soon as you said that, I was like, Mario!
Right. Oh,
So-
you know, Happy Mother's Day if we have any mothers listening. I didn't even think I should say
Indeed,
that
we
in front of
don't
the show.
have any
Happy
on the
Mother's
show. We got a bunch of motherfuckers on the show, but
That's
Well,
true.
yeah, but you know, Happy Mother's Day to y'all. And if you're a single father, because I've done that, and you out here doing your thing, Happy Mother's Day to you too, man. You're doing your thing.
you
All
taking up both slots.
Taking up
you
both
get,
roles.
You get
and
two holidays.
That's hard. Lord. Now I don't even get remembered on a holiday. You know, Father's Day come around, they shower, or they don't even remember nothing. But Mother's Day, they want to go all out for her today. But you know, Father's Day, ain't nobody gonna say nothing to me.
I
It's
mean,
all right.
that's because you've been trying to come off the boat, you know.
When you actually are getting like wood and stuff, like you can come off the ship.
Yeah, I don't know if you knew that.
I hate it here so much.
I am never deleting that line until Skull and Bones comes out. So Terrence, I'm sorry.
It's gonna be there forever because that game is never coming out. Oh man.
That's right.
Yep, exactly.
You stuck now. But anyway, that's all the tweets, that's all the emails, that's all the news. It's time to go back and play Zelda. Because that's what we do. If you want to send us an email, it's podcast@ztgd.com. Tell us your Zelda stories. I want to hear them. If you want to tweet at us, it's at ZTGD Podcast. You can also follow all of us except for Anthony. I'm at ZTGD, Terrence is at Lord Magnus, and Ryan is at Wombat RP. And I totally forgot what game Drew was doing for Phoenix Down.
The To the Moon sequel, I don't remember what it's called. Hold on.
I totally forgot. He's like traveling, and he's going to try to upload a
that's right,
podcast
yeah.
from his fucking
I
hotel
want to
Wi-Fi.
say, oh god, it could be Finding Paradise. It could be A Bird Story. It could be Imposter Factory. I don't know.
I think it's the
one
first
of those
one.
three.
I think it was the first one.
Gamble. You think it's Finding Paradise?
I think that's what it was. Also, Drew, if you listen to this, my brother, you have never used hotel Wi-Fi. You ain't gonna be able to upload that show.
I really don't think so.
Hotel
But,
Wi-Fi is the worst.
yeah, it is
When-
not good.
When he's listening to that, after 14 minutes, when your audio finally loads, he'll be able to tell.
Right? Yeah.
Hold on,
Yeah.
it's got the audio has to buffer.
Yeah, it's true in hotel Wi-Fi. It's terrible. But anyway, that's the show for this week. So everybody go explore Hyrule and the lands above and below. All right, we out. Peace, bitches.
Peace.
Alrighty. And it goes something like this.